Southern Bend. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepan, graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? This one you got today.
Spoon TV.
This one you got today.
Spoon TV. Spoon
With the spoon and your boy right in the Southern Bend. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepan, graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? This one you got today.
Spoon TV.
This one you got today.
Spoon TV. Spoon Spoon TV, Spoon Entertainment. On the spoon to get your information.
One from the CEO standing with the spoon, and your boy right in the South Bend. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. To spoon. You from Vonjama, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat keep my grandchildren, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba. What I want? This one you back today.
Spoon TV.
This one you back today.
Spoon TV. Spoon
Ba. Skiddy dabado.
Spoon TV. Spoon Entertainment.
Go to there.
On the spoon to get your information.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO standing with the spoon, and your boy right in the South Bend. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, to spoon.
Hello, and welcome to the program Spoon Talk. This is your number one program in the Republic of Liberia, no matter where you are. Let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. For those of you who are fans and friends and followers of this program, let me say good evening to my friend and brother, Jeans Goody Flomo. Jeans, how are you coming on?
Bro, we can't complain. God still carrying us. You getting me?
Yes, 100%. I'm getting you.
Chama.
My man, how is Poland?
Well, Poland is good. We the Polish people, we here looking at you, the Liberians.
So, are you a Polish citizen?
Now, business, now you get our justification now. As far as I'm concerned, we the Polish people are okay. My man, if you live in America, automatically, as long as you're there now in our Liberian setting,
I agree with you. Living in America doesn't mean that.
My man, in our common Liberian setting, we know that you're there, so you must do it the way you gotta do it. Chairman, the minister is in the back. As soon as he opens his camera, we will bring it on. You know, the minister, he's coming with fire. Hey!
Oh, yeah.
And my friend, see the way you're looking.
Face.
Fire on the mountain, yo, my people. You're still back. The way minister are going to come in, uno God no. What? Yeah.
Here comes the honorable minister.
Honorable minister, welcome. We can hear you. You are muted.
We'll take out the hat. The program will be brought to you under extreme circumstances.
Why?
There is an attempt by the hackers, and now we are in the desert terrain, trying to ensure that we're not brought down again. But all of our gadgets are messed up. Yeah. Before they put in say this and that, they screw the whole thing up, my man. I tried to log in, Jenna, no way. The whole thing. They say because I know we the ones say the Macaulay ambassador by of course don't start to lose. I don't know which one. But the truth of the matter is, how you guys doing?
Well, God morning me. And Baron.
Well, dear God, thank you for life. You know, we will never complain, no matter the situation. We will always tell God, thank you for life. That's the greatest thing. We will always tell God, thank you for good health. There will always be challenges, but the fact that you can wake up in the morning, you know, you are okay. You just have to say, thank you, God. Thank you for life. Thank you for good health. So I'm okay. I'm doing okay.
So what the M on your shirt stand for?
Money man.
But you broke like Chaha rap. They play F. Father, I say you even get it.
Yeah. Well, you just have to believe in yourself, though.
Anyways.
Yeah.
What we got on the lineup today before y'all start calling all Dr. Francine family and her cousin and the people to Mankind place and the people to Cynthia and place swallowing GB, all that thing. What you got on the menu today?
Well, for my end, the thing here is it is not about what is trending in the country, but our country is in a way that is structured in a way that whenever things happen, you know, or when an incident occur, it is only discussed for a day. But I just want to reflect our, you know, memory, our mind to what happened a few weeks ago or months ago. We are yet to get a full-scale investigation or information concerning Justice Gloria Musu's car, her daughter's event. What happened? How far is the report? What is the government doing? Who are those that were arrested in the case? So I just decided to bring this matter to your attention on Fagon and the public, for us to do it or to make it a discussable event, because we discussed that. And it should not be in the case that when we discuss an issue, after 2-3 days, then we'll go to another problem. So
what else you got?
then another one today, the incident that occurred along the Robertsfield International, highway, where some students were killed, where a truck driver
My man,
ran.
just say Robertsfield Highway or Robertsfield Road. Why you can say International Highway? That International Highway, there are 2 cars can pass.
Yeah. So today, the administration went, the school Dream Academy, they went there, they pay homage to all of their students. It was just a sad event. You have all of those students crying. It was just a sad event today along that identical bell. So basically, there's nothing trending, and I can say this. I can say this with authority. There's nothing really trending.
We will create a trending issue.
Yes.
Government employees supposed to take pay. For 2 months now, we heard they have not taken pay. How true is that?
Yeah. Yes, you are
Okay.
right. Because
Things good
yesterday,
at pre-market, yeah. That one trending
yesterday-
issue. We who in Poland, we know.
yeah, because we saw that yesterday at the labor ministry, we had some Liberian citizens, they were protesting against the government on grounds that they have not received their pay, and the
Lands and Mine or Labor Ministry?
Lands and Mines. I'll take it back.
Yeah. We're not there. We're in Poland, but we're telling you what happened on the ground. We are in Poland.
But that's the factual
Okay,
information
and-
I want to give.
Okay, so what's the factual information?
No, that's it.
Okay, so how about NEC? Have they collected the 10 million that the man was supposed to give them on the 16th?
Where's that?
Okay,
Hello.
that's the second trending issue. The third trending issue is they almost beat the players yesterday, and there are a couple of issues regarding the national team. How true is that?
Yes, and to conclude on this, I'm about to send a video to James Goode Flomo, and I hope he will play this. Our coach, the coach of Lone Star, he got down from the bus. I don't know what led to that. The man wanted to fight the fans. I'm going to send you that identical clip very soon, and I hope James
Okay.
Goode. Yes, the man got down. I don't know who irritated the man. Coach, national team coach. The man was so angry to the extent that while the bus was going, the man got down with Tony Tisley. The man started
Tisdale.
fighting. Yeah, Tisdale. Tesla.
Now,
The
Pastor,
That's a D. That's a D in the man name. Tisdale.
So
I
it
know
is
that
not,
family cool.
it is not Tisley, right?
No, it's
this
Tisdale.
deal.
Yeah, it's Tisdell. Tisdell.
This deal.
Tisdale.
So James,
But wait. I tell you a buzzer, man. That fooling also.
I'm a buzzer man.
My
Yeah,
man,
man,
they are spelling the
Kapati
thing in English
Pastor,
way.
man.
They're spelling it in the English way. That's the reason why they can't catch it.
The only man I can call that name correctly will be Ahu Singh. That is same buzzer people. But anyways, so we will get that. We'll get to that video clip. And since the president arrived in the country, everyone that's calling people here in the USA said the man said nothing from the trip. Nothing the man said other than whether I represent the country. Okay, yeah, we know you represent the country. Whether you came to the CIA headquarters, what happened there? Whether we need to know what happened on the president's trip, 11-day trip, other than the fact that he said he represented the country and he corroborated what we said by saying that Liberia needed to tap into the climate change funding. So other than that, you guys are in the country. What did he say? What is the government saying that he got out of the trip? Because we all know now the $50 billion thing that was BMSP. It's not possible. Liberia never got $2 billion from nowhere. We were supposed to get $1 billion. The two brothers went in Chaklae. So since that time, in his administration, we've never seen $2 billion. So that whole thing was a scam. But then, other than that, the recall of the U.S. ambassador, if nothing else, unless you have something to add. Do you have extra which we will go into?
Yeah. This voter registration is becoming serious, and another incident occurred in the VOA community. You asking me?
No, go ahead.
Yes, another incident occurred in the VOA community where the NEC workers were stationed to do their job. The people asked them to leave. They asked them to leave the place because they did not pay for the center, but the VOA community was rescued by the former chairperson of the Liberia Council of Churches. I think they are called president, right? President, yeah, the former president of the Liberia Council of Churches, Bishop Kotu Brown. After they asked them to leave, Bishop Kotu Brown had to step in to accommodate NEC, to call them to his church and say, y'all come and do the work here. Instead of you leaving, because the community has to register. That is, the people will have to register. So if you leave because you did not pay the people, and the people too need their money, they need money for their center, y'all come here and do your job. So as we speak, they are currently working at the Water in the Desert Apostolic Pentecostal Church. There were
so that God coming to the rescue now of the registration.
I tell you, the bishop had to step in to tell them, y'all come to my church. So just imagine if the bishop was not around, or his church was not around, how the people were going to do that job. So the issue that has to do with giving NEC money, I think the government has to do something about it to give them money. If not, many people may not register because nobody's going to give that facility to you free. They are not running charity. So at the end of the day, they want money. If they are not like Bishop Kotu Brown, I'm sorry, those in our community will just be left out. Yeah.
Okay, so folks, if you're just joining us, you heard the voice of James Goode Flomo. Now we're going to introduce you to Leo Nyopolo Johnson, one of our guest panelists here, as well as Al Hussein UJ Vadiga, our guest panelist, and also at Anchor is our man Bar in studio, the fiance of Karishma Penal, who is also an aspirant in District Number 10. Having said that, let's proceed with the first discussion I want to raise today, and that has to do with the NEC issue, voters registration. Before we go to that, to my fellow panelists let me start by saying this. When people talk about NEC bringing about crisis within the elections, I want to draw your attention to the fact that all of you on the platform are aware, especially Leo and UJ, that the coalition document was challenged by James Barney, the senator. And he said that it lacked the appropriate signatures. He gave a couple of reasons, and he cited the law. And he was waiting for a redress from NEC. That redress up to now has not come. And the Constitution is very clear when it gives charge of political party issues to NEC. NEC is the first line. And since they wrote that communication, almost a month now and a half, NEC have not responded to the communication. NEC have not investigated or called for an investigation. On top of it, we now see a document going to NEC saying that James Barney has been removed. But we also know that James Barney is also at the Supreme Court with series of issues. Apart from the monetary aspect or the financial aspect, I would like for you to comment on the fact that NEC is slow in giving redress to many of the issues arising out of poverty. If someone argues, Leo, that NEC should be adjudicating these cases and getting rid of them before they are stashed up with many of these inter or intra-party conflicts, and that this will pose a serious problem going into the election, how would you respond to such person? The same question will go for Al Hussein.
I made first of all, greetings to everyone. Honorable Fagon, Eugene, UJ as well, good to see you. And to all of the viewers from everywhere, good to see you all, and greetings to all of you. I made a post yesterday that in relation to the Lone Star game, that you cannot order Duka crab and expect to be eating lobster when the food is delivered. And I will say the same thing today. NEC does not have the capacity to conduct credible elections in Liberia, nor does it have the capacity to deal with the complex issues that are arising, and even the simple issues. Let me not even go to the complex ones alone. One, NEC, the U.S. ambassador just confirmed to us that NEC has not received any of its budgetary allocation to even run their office. Forget about doing all the complex stuff, running their office, because the budgetary allocation for NEC is not only for running elections. Yeah, elections is a big part of it, because that's a big part of their mandate. But to run elections, the office got to run every day. People got to come to work. The ambassador went as far as saying even the food for the workers, the food that is supposed to give them, that they promised them, they haven't been receiving it. So how can anybody be expecting that an issue that's arising from electoral disputes and some of the issues arising from political parties have nothing to do with election disputes? It's just inter-party activities and honor the guardians of what NEC rules are. Things are popping up. You know, parties disagreeing, parties having conflict, and NEC being the body that oversees political parties. They're coming to NEC to seek resolution to ensure that they are in line with the law. NEC does not have the capacity. If NEC cannot receive any of its budgetary allocation, how is the office running? Who's coming to work? How are people getting paid? Why should somebody organize a hearing for a political party situation that has arisen when they haven't even gotten the budgetary allocation to buy stationery for the office? Let me break it down. So for me, I would say this to you, that our entire governance structure is set up in pretense and deception. It is not working. The capacities that are needed to function are not there. It is just the truth. It's not criticism of any one person. The budgetary allocation promised to NEC, if it's been delaying for months and months and months and months, NEC don't credit the money from somewhere and get it back later from somewhere else. So how would they have been running the office for all these months that they haven't received that budgetary allocation? This is what I meant by, you don't order Duka crab and then you're asking why lobster not on the plate. We've ordered Duka crab from the time we made a budget, and our budget was passed into law, and said this was the allocation for NEC. And NEC has not received their allocation. Now that the work that was supposed to be started 1 or 2 years ago, building up to this point, all of it is compounding in 6 months to election. And then we are wondering why NEC is not doing this. And this is why the last time I will close by saying this so UJ can come in. When I talk about reporting, and I know we're talking about something else, but my point about reporting was, well, how come nobody holding NEC feet to the fire to say, how are you even running this office? What kind of deception is that? How are these? So you're bringing people to work without compensating them properly, without empowering them with the tools and resources that they need to execute their job. That is a human right abuse. You can't ask me to come to work if I'm going to say you want me to come to work to drive the car. Every day you own a car sales company. You want me to come and drive the cars to the clients. But you refuse to give me the car keys. You refuse to put gas. There's no gas in any of the cars. The keys are not in them. You don't know where the keys are. But then you waited until the client call you and say, how come I didn't get my car at 2 o'clock? Then you can't get vexed with me to come tell me, say, why you drive the car when there's no gas in the car, there's no keys in the car, but I'll be coming every day. So people need to answer the question. NEC does not have the capacity, and my greatest fear is we are headed for trouble because NEC will not be able to do 2 years of work in 6 months. That would be impossible.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Al Hussein, sorry. You are Bassa man. You know how Duka crab tastes. But you know also where it comes from, as Leo said. But now you want to eat lobster. We are at this point. Even up to now, as we speak, there is no money. I'm beginning even to worry that the people who wanted the contract for the BVR to do the biometrics, I'm beginning to worry that they're doing this thing on their own just to force it in order to sue in the end and say the government owed them. How do you respond?
Well, you see, that speaks to everything that we've been saying here over the last couple of weeks, months, years for that matter. The last time I saw a government performing like this was during the Taylor era. We used to call it rebel normal days. When Taylor was in power, where they ran the government from White Flower. This is the last. That's the last time. Look, like her or hate her, Ellen started something good. You know, they squandered a lot of opportunities. But Ellen put her on a right trajectory. We just needed that continuation. And what we are seeing is a breakdown. Is a group of people that do not even respect our laws, do not even respect the Constitution they took oath to protect. And that is disturbing. People, we know the law, but they just choose to violate it. It's because we do not have any mechanism put in place to deter people, to punish people for grossly violating our laws. So like my good friend Leo said, I smell trouble at the end of the road because what these people before I even get to that point, the saddest part of this thing here is nobody is doing anything. George Weah is running this country oppositionless. It seemed like the CDC are the only guys who boss in the country. Even when the CDC ran as opposition, they were very effective. They were disruptive. They protest even when things were good for the country. They were very effective. This is my first time seeing a disorganized opposition, and our people just sitting there looking. They're looking to see who that new savior, who that Messiah that will come and extricate this country from this kakistocracy that we see, because everything seems to be breaking down. Everything seems to be breaking down. Look what happened in Nick. These people have not. Look, we love quick fixes. I don't blame the reason, and I will save that for my second time. We'll give our thought. The reason we are seeing this thing is because we refuse to make the hard sacrifice. The notion that, oh, this person can win election, that other person can do things. We are looking at vain things in leadership. You know, Leo said, "Duka crap." The thing is, we keep making the same mistake and keep expecting to get a different result. And this is why we are seeing something, because our people can be very stubborn and adamant about things. When they start talking about you came on my, you came on by, you vote for me. When they start talking about you know both, you not know both, we vote for you. When they start talking about our time, and people looking at all these different things that has nothing to do with anything, and looking at these vain things in our leadership, and keep promoting people that because they come from the same place, either they are eloquent, or they come from the same place, or they're from the same tribe, they're from the same region, versus looking at someone that actually have the requisite experience, past and present, that have the moral values in them, and that are prepared. And, you know, rather than looking at vain things in our leadership,
right.
This is where we are. So when we go back to the NEC, NEC is performing based on what we have given them. We know that this is a disaster waiting to happen. Why are we not doing anything? Why is it that people are sitting now waiting for this disaster to strike? And let me tell you the thing. Nobody is coming. We keep looking on our shoulder when George Weah should have stolen the election, done everything. Because look, like you or hate it, the CDC is very smart. We have been underestimating these people, and one of the worst things we can do with this Joe. I see people talking about Joe Weah, dog. He know nothing, comparing other people. Joe Weah probably one of the most savvy and smart politicians of our time. Like it or hate it, the strategy have worked and continue to work. And don't be surprised. This man remove Cabinet Janet. He have southeasternized our Supreme Court. That's the next place that the election will be decided. The man, according to whatever you believe, NEC has been infiltrated with party loyalists. The next legislature,
30 seconds. Let's move ahead.
Nothing. So this may have already set the stage. We cannot wait for something to happen and then we start saying, "Oh, international coming, well, Makate, US." Nobody's coming. It's only Liberia can solve this problem.
Thank you. Let's go to Leo. on the second part of it that I wanted to draw your attention to, Leo. We saw the situation with the census. We know that a census is supposed to be conducted every 10 years, but let's forget about the duration. We know that it's a mandate from the Constitution that the census is supposed to be conducted, that after being conducted, it's supposed to be validated. After the validation, then we're supposed to do what? Redistrict to reflect equilibrium across the spectrum of our districts and allow for equal representation. Well, all of those things did not happen. Instead of redistricting, it is now a fact, not a fiction, that the registration is being done. And then after that, people will find themselves where they actually do not want to be. The international community is perfectly seated. They're watching everything go wrong, but they're saying nothing at this point. My question to you, in collaboration with the same NEC, our international partners are watching everything you said, Leo, but guess what? They're saying nothing. What do you think? What does it say in the event your assumption or your prediction comes to pass? Do you think they will have the moral compass and the moral strength or leverage to even say a word to us or come across as people who want to help?
Yeah, thank you. I think that's a very interesting question, and there are a few parts to it. But to begin with, I will answer and say yes, and I will tell you why. We can't pick and choose. When the international community and the U.S., led by the U.S., came up and slapped sanctions on 3 top government officials, we hear people talk about Liberia is a sovereign nation, it's a sovereign country. When the international community comes out and criticizes certain aspects of our society, we go back at them, but then in the same breath, question them why they're not coming to the other side. Let me put it this way: the international community has no legal obligation to do anything in Liberia. However, within the context of our relationships and their interest and their investments, or vice versa, also in the country, they come in and do stuff. But my question is, before even we go to the international community, where is the fury and anger from the Liberian people at the legislature? Where is the fury and anger from the Liberian people at the judiciary? Where is the fury and anger from the Liberian people at the executive to say, number one, the legislature sits there, they make laws. When they were ready to remove Justice Cabinet Janneh, the swiftness and speed and order that they moved with was unprecedented. When something happened and they decided when they're ready to confirm nominees that they won't confirm, the speed at which they move, the level of organization, the level of dedication that they give it shocks you. So it means we have the operational capacity in these institutions to do constitutionally what is right, but they have refused to actually do it. Where is the anger from the Liberian people? Because
so then I push back against you. Do you think the legislature is also hijacked? Because the pro tem is in line with the party as well as the kinsmanship with the president, and all of the people in there are, like you said, working with him. So where is the pushback from those people?
So that means the legislature has been hijacked by both the opposition and the ruling party. Because when we look at the number of legislators who did not get elected on the ticket of the ruling party, who got elected, quote unquote, on opposition party tickets, both in the House of Representatives and the Senate, they far exceed what on paper, let me make that clear, on paper, what the ruling party has. So then we must sit down and agree that there has been a conspiracy by both the opposition in the legislature, when I mean both the opposition, majority of the opposition, and the ruling party. So my question is, I don't disagree, Honorable Fagon, but I still maintain the question. The Liberian people don't think that's a problem because we all sit on our laurels. So why would the international community jump over us, the thing that we feel okay? The thing that we feel that had a country, when you talk in here, people tell you, say, oh, that the Liberian way, you not understand the way things work in Liberia. So the international community too watching and saying, you know what, that the Liberian way, that the way that people can actually do their thing. But you know what happened? When crisis engulfed, like we saw during the war, when we slaughter ourselves, kill ourselves, massacre ourselves to the point where the TV people can't stomach it anymore, where people watching it in these countries can't stomach it anymore, then the international community might decide to come in to do what they can do to think that they are helping. I agree that that is not timely. There are many things they can do to avert a crisis, but at the same time, we throw it right in their faces that we are a sovereign nation. We are independent, and nobody is supposed to dictate to us. So we need to decide as Liberians, are we angry? Do we disagree? And if we do disagree, then we need to show that sense of urgency every single day so that the international community can have an opening to say we are supporting the Liberian people.
Well taken. That point is well taken. UJ Fatiga, you heard what I said. They're watching from all of the embassies and all of the institutions. They see it. I mean, it can be seen with the naked eye. They are aware of it. They're doing nothing to make sure they intervene at this point, to make sure they avert any attempt to move towards a crisis. But when there is a crisis, they want to be part. We know what's happening at NEC. What says thou?
Well, I kind of defer with you on a little bit on that. I won't say they have not done anything. Look, like him or hate him, the outgoing ambassador to Liberia have given a lot of rare meat. Honestly, a couple of years ago, they told us that these guys were diverting funds for NGO. I think it was $100 and something million. A couple of years ago, they told us that those guys were depleting our foreign reserve. Nobody did anything. A couple of years ago, $16 billion disappeared mysteriously. We had Kroll came in and said that we cannot tell you definitely what happened, but based on what we know, something fishy with that 16 billion. Well, yeah, a couple of years ago, 16 billion was used. Samuel Toa, economist, said that he gave it to people that were non-existent, that did not even, nobody even know, nobody has seen that kind of mopping up exercise before in our lifetime. And nothing came out of it. They said nothing happened. We are bearing witness to a president that left the country for 48 days. Did not give account of it, went to watch his son playing soccer in that place, enjoy himself, did whatever he wanted to do, and then chose to come back. We saw a president that left again recently, came back in the journal agency and came bouncing on like a homeboy, telling me that, oh, I'm the president. Everything was fine. I went out. I did what I was supposed to do for the country. Everything was fine. I have to say he doesn't owe any explanation. We are bearing witness to a president that just for whatever reason took $1.5 million and put it in the budget for his wife. Can you imagine that? Up to now, that's thing. Every time I think about it, my blood boils. That people will sit there and allow, even in the greatest country in the world, the first lady don't have budget. The budget comes from the White House budget. So that means the president, all the billion that they give him and something, the first lady money should come from there. Nowhere I've seen where they will take extra $1.5 million that we are going to something completely different and give it to our Jamaican first lady. You know, so these guys, so you cannot say the international community have not done something. The ambassador have always given a remedy. Like Leo said, they indicted 3 officials. What did this administration do? They turn around, they are still active partisan. I think with the exception of Bill Tuare, I haven't seen him a lot about him. But McGill has been very active. He's still in the CDC. Based on the last video that we saw, still actively trying to run for office. What is the law that preventing him? Why aren't the opposition getting mad to call for more investigation into that thing? They cannot just slap people with Magnitsky and they can't tell us exactly what's in it, or nobody has been prosecuted. So when you have a weak opposition, we cannot blame the I think the international community have given us enough ammunition. All we need to do is to leverage the information that they have given us and see how you can push the government. But when you have shady people, opposition leaders, back in the days, opposition leaders went to jail. Back in the days, opposition leaders were at the forefront of fighting for freedom and justice in Liberia. What do we do now? We dedicate those taxes to talk show on the internet or different people, how they call it, different groups that we got there. people that are not in the forefront of party leadership. And then at the end of the day, they come and claim that they want to lead the country. So George Weah is enjoying because of we have had a laissez-faire approach to dealing with the government. So I don't want to blame them.
But just to correct you, I didn't say the international community have not done anything in this particular matter relative to the NEC. They are watching, I said.
Do you
they
know what
is happening? And they're not doing anything.
Yeah, but just
30 seconds.
Theo, let me just say that one thing.
Go ahead.
If you listen, you know the one that made me to cringe, and I'm like, why are people not on the street? The preliminary result of that, or how they call it, it was a preliminary. The program.
Preliminary results of the census.
Of the census. Did you see that program? I saw the Ghanaian cheering. I saw this Indian lady. Oh, this is the best thing we have seen since this. In fact, I want to thank the Liberian government for. I'm like, what does this Indian woman know about the southeastern region that they increase it? And I'm like, where is the outrage? These guys praise the censor, honestly. And the fact that they have legitimized or boycott censor, it's called for concern. And what we need to do now is to tell that Indian lady or our Ghanaian people that came to see there, to tell them, hey, you are wrong. I don't know where you came from to tell the thing, but we should be outraged.
But just so
that's the process.
Yeah, but you just quickly before you come in on the Refagon, just to put it up a point to this. Why should the Indian lady not praise the thing and the Ghanaian ambassador not praise it? And it comes to our legislature and where the census results supposed to come.
Exactly.
They come in and rubber stamp it. But number two, the same thing I said yesterday. Lone Star went to South Africa and drew 2-2 there, right? Quick. The president promised 50,000 bonus and say if they win Aurora, you will get 100,000 bonus. Lone Star lost yesterday. Then people want to attack the team boss. The crowd was supposed to be at somewhere at the executive mansion doorstep yesterday. Why they did not produce money for the team to prepare?
We'll come to that, Leo. You will have your voice on that issue because I myself have something to say about that. It's like the only time you want to get a team money when they play a win, instead of preparing the team to win. But we'll come to that. And you know, the funny thing about it, the man who plays professional soccer, who is part of the U.S. national team, who is known all over the world as Timothy Weah, the son of George Weah, did not go to motivate the team. But the man they caught in the necklace and found him 25,000 that the man said he go motivate the team. They're not drinking happy, you carry to the team playing ground. But we'll save that for the other one. Something I want to bring to your attention and I want us to discuss it. Elder. Ambassador Christine Elder, the ambassador that was replaced by Ambassador Mike McCarthy. You know, she was in from 2016 to about 2021, thereabout. That's about 5 years plus, I think. But you can check it out, it's 5 years. Ambassador McCarthy hangs in there for 2 years and he is recalled. And another ambassador is appointed. Now, in the corridors of the intelligentsia, or if you like, you can say in the court of public opinion, many are judging that he came to conduct a serious investigation on the administration of George Weah, and he's done with the investigation, so someone has to replace him to implement the U.S. policy as it's expected to. Either way you put it, Ambassador McCarthy served for 2 years in Liberia, and he's out. Do you think there was something wrong there? Do you suspect anything about the U.S. government policy? Why will he just be there for 2 years and be recalled when his predecessor has been there for 5 years? Do you think something is wrong? I will start this time with Al Hussein and let Leo finish off on this, on your thoughts. It's just your opinion on the matter or what you're thinking, or if you suspect something. It's nothing definitive here. Al Hussein, I'll give you the ball rolling.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can only speculate at this point to see what happened. It was kind of strange to me as well. But let us not forget that Ambassador McCarthy has been a controversial figure. The last time he made a statement about attacking diaspora or being on air, something that was kind of strange, you know. He said a lot of things. He sent a lot of mixed messages. that sometimes you wonder where he's at with his thought process. But what I do know is that he was on our side. He did a lot of good for the opposition. I think if I was here, I would be discouraged too, because this guy gave us a lot of information that should have the opposition in the street telling George Weah and his people to leave. There was a series of pronouncements that he's made that nobody did anything about it. And one of the things he did with the administration that was kind of was different from the lady was, he would wine and dine with the administration, but he wouldn't shy away from telling them, hey, making damning allegation against them. And, and that was strange. He was not even playing no diplomacy with his words. He was not missing his words. He was looking at him telling you guys are corrupt. I know you are corrupt, and he would say it. He was not even using diplomatic language. Look, we had an anti-corruption group coming to Liberia. Can you imagine that how bad it has been? It is now in the country, and we can only speculate as to why he's being recalled. But the new guy that coming is a tough guy. So, I hope he gets there before the election. That might change the dynamic on the ground a little.
Well, Leo, your thoughts?
For me, it's interesting. First of all, I like to look at it this way. I think what a lot of people are also forgetting is that Ambassador McCarthy was appointed under a Republican leadership, on a Republican regime when President Donald Trump was still president of the United States. That's when McCarthy was sent to Liberia. And again, he was sent replacing a Democratic appointee at the time. Christine Elder was appointed under the previous Democratic arrangement as ambassador to Liberia. So we also need to consider the fact that because the Democrats and the Republicans have very different approaches, even in Liberia. If you notice, ambassadors under the Republican operate in a bit of a different way, their style and way to go about things. The American foreign policy is a bipartisan issue. They don't tend to undermine their foreign policy like they have with the parties, but the way they implement can be very different. You will notice the Republican always send people with a lot of security experiences on these type of missions, if you read their profile. So what is a bit surprising, not surprising, but what I'm paying close attention to is the profile of this new ambassador that's coming in. Former spokesperson to the UN NATO mission, like from the UN Defense Academy, from the 90% of his profile is all security related, 90%.
And military.
And actually military as well. So he's not one of your career civilian type diplomat. He's more of your military security like diplomat. So sometimes I'm looking at that. Is that a signal to the type of policy engagement the US is looking at in Liberia? Again, I am not an expert to say and tell you I'm a diplomatic expert, but I took some time to look back at the previous profiles of the type of diplomats that have come to Liberia. And it was funny. Most of them have a balance. And, you might see some security stuff here and there, or military stuff here and there, but then overwhelmingly, you will see that these are career civilian diplomats, and some of them have worked in the private sector. This guy is a bit different when you follow some of the places that they've sent him and some of the type of work that he's been doing. So I'm paying close attention to that. What does that send? Because it clearly say he's going to be digging deep into his experiences and his expertise for his work in Liberia, especially coming on the heels of Ambassador McCarthy, who have been more blunt and outspoken in the style of the way he's led. And most of the things he's focused on has been mostly towards corruption and going into the security area as well. When you look at the issue of investigations, he's gone as far as warning people who felt that they got shortcut to the Liberian presidency by wanting to destabilize the country. But beyond that, with the operation of terrorism in the region, from Mali to Cote d'Ivoire to Burkina Faso now, and the U.S. appointing this type of ambassador with this type of profile, what does it say to us? But this is what I would say. People need to be careful. I'm a bit shocked when I see Liberians on social media. Oh, the ambassador going because the U.S. like him or they don't like him. They don't like the way he was doing it. People need to be very careful. Washington has sent a clear message, both under Donald Trump and under Joe Biden, that Liberia has fallen from its place its rightful place that it's supposed to be when it comes with engaging with the United States. How can you have a former president getting a formal invitation to attend the inauguration of Joe Biden and don't get the sitting president to get an official invitation to attend the inauguration of President Joe Biden?
All right.
It's a massive snub. So for me, where we need to be focused is focusing on why have we fallen from our rightful place that the vice president is visiting the region is in Ghana, but she will refuse to stop in Liberia, that we say is a stepchild of the United States. That's the type of question we're asking.
All right. Thank you. And let me welcome back on our Remy Gray. I know he's itching to come in there. I'm not going to let him come in there because you know what? Every time this guy hear anything about military and security, that's when he opens the closet, put a thing behind, then he won't come in.
Put a green screen,
Yeah, he put a green screen up because of his area of expertise. He's very dominating in that area. And in all fairness, you got to give it to him. He's dedicated his life to it. But Remy Gray, before I bring you in, let me just throw in my 2 cents. Look, guys, let's face it. The U.S. policy is the U.S. policy. Over time, it will change. And I think McCarthy came in at the time when he wanted to carry out U.S. policy. But there were some geopolitical changes that took place. And there was a direct threat to U.S. leadership role in the world. And when you look at our global setting at this point, a lot have changed. It can start with COVID. You can move it on to the economy. And then you come to the national security threat that we all know is real. And when you think about Mali, Burkina Faso, and the fact that Malians could say, hey, France, get the hell out of here. We don't want to see you. Burkina Faso can say, this is not time for any kind of big leadership. We don't want to even hear about you guys. China dominating in the sub-region. Guinea is just right there, right next door. And strategically, America is sitting at a point where they're looking at little baby Liberia. And I'm saying it with passion. Little baby Liberia. 5 years ago was doing so well, or 6 years ago. And under this current leadership, Liberia is talking about $100 million worth of drugs. And America is saying, I'll burn this sucker. And by the time they could leave the burning site, $40 million worth of drugs show up. America is like, wait a minute. Mali just messed up, Burkina Faso, then Guinea, and we see drugs raining through this place. And then comes the guns. And America is saying, wait a minute, this cannot be my baby. My baby is like, it's outgrown me. And probably they need somebody to come in there that's going to straighten up this place. This place is messed up. Okay? And we can go on and to state some of the things that have happened. But I think my friend can say, I wanted to say recall or, the replacement. My friend said, no, the man was repo. I said, what do you mean he was repo? He said, when you pay a car bill, what can happen? That man was repo. They repo that man because the player team reached now. McCarthy have given America all of the information they needed. They need an implementer. They need someone to go in now and implement. McCarthy has done his job. Kudos to him. And before I get to you, Remy Gray, let me say thank you, Ambassador McCarthy. Even though we may have had some disagreements, but look, on the overall, if I was giving you a grade, you held this government to account, but this government was hard-headed. Now you're on your way out. I say thank you on behalf of the Liberian people, but rest assured, President Weah is not going to get it his way the way he got it with you. The implementer is coming in. We say thank you for investigating and showing us the kind of leadership we have and the way our government is operating. We can only, on behalf of the Liberian people, say thank you plenty and thank you very much. We look forward to you coming back and taking on your Liberian citizenship when we give you your Liberian name. Over to you, Remy Gray. The ambassador was replaced. It's replaced. And the new ambassador is coming. Do you think it was strategic? What do you think happened?
Well, I've always, gentlemen, firstly, my apologies for coming in slightly late.
My man, stop, man. You're not coming in late. As soon as you hear about security, even Leo sent me a message saying that you were talking. Remy Gray was soon log on Wi-Fi, I'm telling you. And you did exactly that.
No, sir, well, I didn't let Leo down. Definitely, but I didn't even know what you guys were discussing. But I just knew that I have this obligation to log in, and I had to close early at work just to make sure I meet this obligation. But I always say, the United States has shifted its military interest from the Middle East, the tribal belt of Pakistan, and the Strait of Hormuz, that is also highly contested between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Now the focus is down towards sub-Sahara. On the northeast side is the Sahel, overlooking Mali, and on the northwest side is Somalia. Don't forget that the new ambassador is also an ambassador to Somalia, so he's holding a um, dual designation, and it's for a purpose. I always say United States don't just fire its diplomats; they have specific skills. They're there for specific time, and the term of reference are specific. They've moved from corruption. Now the United States is facing confrontation with China and Russia combined to limit US's presence or dominance, wherever they exist. Somalia is a strategic ally now to the persecution of terrorism, whether it's ISIL, Islamic State, um, Al Shabaab, you just name them. As long as those people exist, and Liberia has become this strategic, vital access linking the Gulf of Guinea to that region that is being infiltrated now, coming towards Burkina Faso, or Central African Republic, all of these other places. Okay, so I think it's no more than the right time to send somebody who has. Don't forget that the new ambassador is also a lecturer at war colleges here in the United States. So he's a professor of war. So he has been also, he has served the U.S. Army and I think Navy, so to speak. So they needed a military guy. So the interest right now is military conquest, or or America trying to exert itself in a region that has become increasingly frequented um, by Al Qaeda. Okay, so when we're talking about Liberia being a vulnerable state, there are a lot of elements there that have been traced to have some Islamic State, some terrorism, trace, because these are cells. They have to dig them up, and Liberia has become this vulnerable place. People are there, maybe they think that it's all about drug trade, but those drug trade, as you said, Fangon one time, that they finance terrorism interest. So Liberia is becoming this bedrock where it's further for terrorism. So when they call our president to go up there, probably for him, he thinks it's a joke. But I think the United States is serious that Liberia must be part of this effort to prosecute this, to orchestrate this foreign policy. So, if you ask me, the new ambassador is the right man for now, and it's another William Swing, or somebody who not going to pay attention too much with all that fanfare our country leader and his people are doing. He's going to make sure that Liberia is forced to comply with certain way of doing things, regardless of you talking about us being a sovereign state. We're still a part of the International Committee or Committee of Nations. So therefore, we have binding obligation as well. Not necessarily um, the sovereignty is one part, but that sovereignty is also challenged if you don't meet your international quota or your responsibility as a state.
Okay. Thank you very much. And we'll go to our next topic, and we will begin with you on the next topic and going to go to Leo, and then we'll move on to Al Hussein UJ Fadiga. The president returned from the United States. And this is a topic that everybody said, Fagon, we want you to discuss it. We're not taking it lightly. The president left the country for 11 days. He says he was going to UAE and he was going to the United States. He would have met with investors. He would have met with officials. He would have met with business people. But 11 days, we know nothing. The president returns and gives us a story. And that is, I represent the country, and it was one of those things. That's all the president said. But we saw a release about $50 billion carbon, and that's it. The president left the country for 11 days. And we'll go back to you now, Remy Gray. The president returns to the country, and the Liberian people knows nothing. What do you think is going on? Because this is not something that should happen. The president, we should see his photos, his meetings, everybody he's met with, what was discussed, all those things, but absolutely nothing. And people are very concerned in the country. I mean, very concerned about what has happened. Remy, what do you think is going on? The same question will go for everybody. What do you think is happening? What do you think is going on?
I think President Weir will always find a way to lie his way through any given any situation. I mean, elections coming very close. As a result, he got this group of individuals who are spin masters. And fortunately for us now, Fangon got you because you were one of the key men there. So the platform.
Leo, you hear the mail. Leo, you hear the mail.
The platform you left for them is what they're struggling, but they are not the inventor of that platform. Maybe people like Fangon and the Wozi are the likes that actually created that platform. So you have people who did not invent the plane trying to fly it, in turbulence. And I'll say they're amateurs, so to speak. So because by then, at least people were making their case when the likes of the Fangon and the Wozi were there. They'll make their case. You have a scholarly argument. Right now, the lie is so clear that you don't even need to scratch your head to say, but these people are lying. President came back from, Washington. The first thing he does is to say, we secure a $50 billion contract. Come on, man. $50 billion contract. I mean, why should you lie? And just to tell you that the trip was empty, apparently, a president can ask to be invited to come in and visit certain installations, certain American strategic operations and stuff, but it will be so limited because this is a spy agency. Maybe the director was in Liberia, and Liberia is in the map. They really want to do business with us, but we don't have the managers on the ground to do business with. To be frank, if this were Madam Salif, you wouldn't even hear much. You would just see people coming. But we don't really have the infrastructure or the manpower to co-op or to sort of help America carry on this ambition.
Not even the kind of leadership.
That's what I'm saying, my brother. So, but the president, what is he going to tell you? One is going to come and tell you, maybe they say, well, these are our intention, these are our ambition. People will say, well, he could have just gone to Liberia and let the president know. But sometimes they have to bring you on their soil to make sure that you're an ally. But you'll be so limited. The role of Liberia is supposed to be like the front burner. When General Langley, who is right now the commander in Africa, when he came to West Africa, he went to Senegal. Of course, we talk about Casamance. That's also Islamic State or ISIL. And then they went to they Tunisia. Okay, West year they went to Ghana. Imagine they went to Senegal and Ghana. Liberia should have been in a particular visit.
Can be there.
Can be there because we don't have the leadership. So
Yeah.
they're looking at us now like we're not really a burden, but we're not just a useful tool that they used to have. Because imagine Liberia.
Well, let me hold you there because you and I know that they did not invite. He was summoned to the CIA headquarters, and that is a fact. He went there. He did not say anything to anybody. He felt dejected. We saw what all happened here around him. It's not hidden, but people are suspecting that he was just told bluntly that the United States, and I said suspecting, did not appreciate drugs peddle, weapons passing through the country, and laundering taking place to where Hezbollah and other terrorist groups were benefiting. And that he was just told bluntly, like, no, we're not going to work with you, so figure out a way to get the hell out.
The word summon for a sovereign president, I think it's a strong word. The United States will not summon you per se. If you have become a rogue element, which increasingly this government is becoming, they will issue a warrant for your arrest. Morris.
No, but let me just a second. All of us want to say invite, but Remy, if you invite me, and I'm sure Leo is listening, Eugene Vadiga is listening, I can say yes and I can say no. I can agree to your invitation and I can turn it down. But they tell you you're coming on March 9 and you came. I don't see that, and you're right. I see why you want to be diplomatic, but I don't see that as an invitation. You're not going to tell me come March 9, I come. I'll tell you, I can send my defense minister. I can send the justice minister. But if I have to show up on your time and you have to come and tell me you come on. But you have your say.
No.
Your opinion. And then from there we go to Leo.
Yeah, just so we can give the others chance. Remember, Mr. Weir is trying to window dress. Any slight opportunity that that showcases him as having some interaction with the Americans, he's willing to jump on it. He's not going to even put a deputy to go to undertake that operation. I'm pretty sure he was not the one invited, or his government was invited. But he's trying to tell us in an election year, in an election era, that I'm mending my differences with the United States. So therefore, I've been invited. You see, I'm doing business with them now. But this was meant for,
No, then how do you explain as a panelist, before we go to you to Leo, how do you explain as a panelist our president coming and just walking through the Iron Steel Barton to the inner side of they get there in the DC terminal and just walking to a car? Not even a state visit, not even received by a top
That's
US
what I'm saying. He was
official.
not the one invited. He was not the, but I mean, they invited his government. But these are your actors that are representing in our national security government.
Okay.
But the president wants to showcase. You see, I'm visiting the United States. I'm doing business with the government. So this is just a window dressing activity. But to be frank, they didn't want him here. That's why it will not be a state visit.
Let's go to Leo. He's been very patient-minded, waiting to launch his, to catapult knowledge to the young people. Leo, tell us something from the library, not the Library of Congress, but the Library of Knowledge.
So first thing first, it's mind-boggling, very mind-boggling, that the president of the republic will make a trip to Qatar or to the United States via Qatar and then back through Qatar to Liberia. And people feel like they don't owe the Liberian people an explanation as to the purpose of the president's trip. You to work. How can you go to work? You in the office. We're supposed to be working from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. You decide you just get outside, get in your car, you just go. You didn't tell your boss, say, hey, I'm going here to pick up this order, it's a meal for the company and I need to pick it up or this. And you think you can just do that. It makes no sense. Number one, what it does, it further demonstrates to our international partners and everybody the level of unseriousness and unsophistication that is going on. And We can blame President Weah being the head, but I will also say this is a direct indictment on multiple agencies involved with the government. Yeah, President Weah will be held accountable because he's the head. You're supposed to know what he's supposed to do. But what happens when you hire people with no job description, when you hire people with no terms of reference, and the thing to be a minister or to be a director or a senior cabinet member is to bluff.
And the information minister was there, Leo. You're absolutely correct.
I was there. And you think that the reason you're being minister is to bluff, and you're doing the Liberian people a favor. Whenever you feel it, you engage. When you not feel it, you don't engage. To be a minister is not a bluff. It's a difficult job. When they call you to take on a minister job, it's going to take 2 weeks to really think hard. It's a very difficult job to be over there because you're trying to balance politics, delivery of service, and professionalism. It's difficult to balance those 3 things because there are times where you have to pivot and pitch the president's political agenda. There are times where you have to be a professional to deliver what you have to. And then there are times where you have to find a balance between facts and the deliverables that your office is required to actually do. So when I see the president come back, and at the airport, they ask the president, Mr. President, can you inform us what was the trip about? What did he say? Whole press
overview.
You're supposed to ask sitting president about his visit. That part of my job to go and visit. Yes, Mr. President, we need to ask you about your visit. Say your lieutenants and cabinet members decided that you letting us know about your visit a favor to the Liberian people. No, it's not a favor. We are entitled to the reports. If we pay the salary of the president or the cabinet minister, then we are the one paying the bills. Then hell yes, we need to know how our money is being spent. And I've said this over and over. The government and the opposition have the same problem. You got someone like President Weah leaving the country, you're not getting any information. When the people come out and tell us, say, President Weah will bundle into a cell for 3 days, they hide in jail and they put us out, then you get vexed. What are you vexed about? You ain't get information, so we'll look for information where it is. When the people tell us, say, they have to hire President Weah to run away with him through the back door, then you'll get vexed. You'll say that problem. What is stop you from just coming to say the president is making a trip to the United States? He's going to be meeting with the CIA or whatever. It is a classified engagement, so we cannot divulge all of the information, but we want to officially let you know on the record, here is the purpose of the president's trip. The president leaving the country, the whole cabinet, the whole government of the Republic of Liberia landed to the airport to be clapping when walking on the red carpet. Then you'll say that classified. It is not classified. When the men are coming back, all of y'all landed to the airport that they want can't get over. Y'all cancel a whole work day to clap for the president coming back from a routine visit or from a routine travel, because presidents travel all of the time. We cancel a whole work day. We disrupt a productive work day to stand at the airport, and people go there for in the morning. Why does the whole cabinet have to meet the president upon arrival? We have the Ministry of State and Presidential Affairs. When the president is coming, those that are necessary to be at the airport will be there. We don't need to take the minister from Public Works, the minister from everybody leave their offices and go London to clap for the president. That is unfortunate. It is a wasted day of the Liberian people bills that they are paying for you to have been in your office, in my opinion. The last thing I will say, Faron, we keep saying it. People say that the Liberian way again. Let me tell you today, we've come to a place where our international partners are also looking at what we've normalized. That is the reason why today we can sit down and accept that people can come up and say somebody and look at somebody like Alexander Cummings, who that rich man. He not get plenty of baby money and run and play also children and girlfriend and what fighting, and he rich man and he's supposed to have it. So it's unacceptable to think that he's just a decent man that been married for over 40 years to the same woman with 2 children that he raised successfully. So we get to say he's gay because it's too abnormal. It would have been normal if he had 50 girlfriends, 5 also children everywhere. That is the reason why we sit down and accept that somebody like Vice President Joseph Boakai, that we think is supposed to be treated like any ordinary citizen in the country who's been vice president for 12 years. That when he comes to America, people think they might be running him around on their errands as they think, without a proper agenda and itinerary for the vice president. That is the reason why President Weah, as president of the Republic of Liberia, people sit there and cannot advise him to inform him that you hold the presidency. You cannot be in war of words with people in the media because somebody says something about you that made you vex. So you get to come out to you and the person, you take out your glove. Your Mayflower with Louis Brown, because Louis Brown says something about you, you vex, you come out to, you take it back to him. Sorry, you are denigrating your office. You just came down to a level that you're not supposed to be. If anybody wanted to respond to Louis Brown, the Minister of Information should have done a press conference and respond to anything that was said that is not proper, Mr. President. So this is where we are. You want to keep doing it the Liberian way? No, sorry. We will expose it. It's not to criticize any one person. It's to show that the president of Liberia, through the Ministry of Information, owes the Liberian people an explanation of the president's trip and the past that we're not supposed to know. You keep a secret. But the president traveling and why he traveled, they're not secret. You're muted.
Yeah, you know, as Hussein was just looking at you, I have to say, finish, let me end it for you. Let me end it. The men are lying, pull that up. Because you made a point over there, and let me tell you what you said. You said you can't go on the trip. We pay for it. We pay the bills. We sponsor the trip. We pay your salary, and then you come back. You can't talk to us. You know, if we were at a place where we could cut the money, this president will not take pay this month, seriously. Because it would be like, until you can tell us what you did, we don't need to pay you for going walk about and come back. Even though we already know what happened there, we already know. You don't need to tell us, we know. But Al Hussein, take it from there, the president's trip.
Well, the president himself said it. Nobody else said it better than the president. He said, I not do nothing. They put me there. They can't do small thing. Waiting, the people will say. I think our president have gotten away with so many things to the point that he's having God complex. And when I mean that he's having God complex, I really do believe it. Our president, going way back in the Senate, I can't remember one legislation. This man, if anything, this man is supposed to repay the Liberian people for all the money that he used when he was senator, because I have never seen a senator that just went there and got paid and became president. Why should this man even try to do anything? George Weah is behaving the way he behaving because we have not shown. I don't think he even understands the position he has as the president. Because when you understand that position, you know the value of that position, you will not take it for granted. That position can cause war, it can cause genocide, it can cause a lot of things in the country. It can cause suffering, it can cause generational trouble. And these guys are not taking it serious. Look, we look for vain things in our leadership, and then we expect them to find solution to our problem. A couple of years ago, I have never been a big fan of the president. The president did a lot of good in his personal life. But when it comes to governance and everything else he did outside of the soccer field, he was a failure. He failed at so many other things. And despite everything we knew, it didn't shy people away from voting him into office. People still overwhelmingly voted for him, and they could do it again. The bottom line here is, how do we make the right decision? How are we choosing our leaders? What are the criteria we are looking at? Because the last time I checked, opposition of one group wanted to protest against the president. Another opposition group said, oh, they will bring war. And somehow, the only time war can come to Liberia or there can be threat of war or threat of some civil unrest is when people try to speak up. That propaganda is redundant and baseless. War comes when you disrespect the people, when you become repressive, when you do not respect the Constitution, you tribalize the country, you regionalize the country, you initiate all those dangerousism from nepotism, tribalism, ageism, whatever ism that have impeded that country for years, when you try to coin them and make them part of your government. Those are the things that bring civil unrest. Now, when people decide to protest for you to make that change, so when they go, I don't disrupt the peace, even opposition, and we play dirty politics. We play dirty politics. I remember when they had that retired suffering march, there were opposition. They say usual suspect. Oh, no, they're not. And where is the unity? Where is the unity within the opposition? So everything that we are seeing this president doing is because our country has reached to this point that it is at a hopeless state. Sometimes I go to bed having sleepless night for that country because where do we start from? The problem is so scattered all over, you don't even know what to tackle. We're dealing with a group of people that do not play by the rules. These guys, well, the Civil War will say they are guerrilla. They function a real guerrilla or rectal guerrilla people. That's why I like the Yeke doctrine. I don't condone violence, but I like the Yeke doctrine because that is the only language they understand. That is what they did when they were opposition. They were disruptive. They were obstructionists. They were always in the way of subversity. So that's how they function. So the only way to get to them is to use the same language. You do not have to use violence. We can use civil disobedience. We can block this president until he takes his job seriously. We can make them uncomfortable. The president is too comfortable. Look, I saw the president driving. Where have you seen us? It is very uncommon for it's not even advisable for the president to drive his car. This man drove his car, one of those nice sport car, to his Jamaica lounge in LA. This guy really enjoying the presidency, right? This guy feel that they own the country. They feel that like, we are turning the country over today and nobody else have anything to do in that country. They can do whatever they want because whatever George Weah wants or President Weah wants, he gets. He has been doing it for the last 6 years, and what's stopping him from doing it again? Nothing is stopping him from doing it because if you give our people the same chance, they might make the same mistake again. So we need to start looking into identifying leadership, how we choose our leaders, and what to look for in our leader, rather than he come from the same tribe, come from the same region, he looked at me, we eat the same tawagia, we eat the same something. Let's start looking at character. Character matters. Eugene, you muted. I left when you muted because I can talk plenty.
Man, Leo, you see, looking on the computer, Leo, that Leo doing that thing, that Leo. We're going to the last one that's going to ruffle some feathers. And I'm suggesting that we take at least 2 minutes max, that we close on time today. Maximum. I don't want to start with over here, all of your ANC people. So I want you to go on the Baka people.
Also, Leo,
that's what we have today.
I will tell you,
Rumors
boldly, I'm
circulating,
no
and I want you to pay attention.
I think
somebody called me the other day and said that Leo man looking like somebody looking like.
Yeah.
The government hackers have hacked.
They play with him. They play with him.
Y'all government hacker, man.
They play with your line, man.
The government hack your account.
Look, the guy ain't playing with me. Or the guy that damaged all the gadgets. Oh. But anyway, let's look at it this way. I want us to talk real politics here. And I believe that a lot of people are calling me saying that the delay of Joseph Boakai picking a candidate or Alexander Cummings, both of them, is of concern. We got 6 months to go. Boakai and Cummings is playing somewhat a cat and mouse game. Like Boakai looking at Cummings, pick your one out. Let me see who you pick. And then Cummings too late on the other side of me waiting for you. If I pick out, I want to see where you're going. So the cat and mouse game between them is in politics a little bit dangerous because it's a distraction right now. It calls for a delay. It's not going to give them traction. And it's killing people who want to have that enthusiasm to go after the ruling establishment, whether it be from the Cummings end or the Boakai end. Is the delay in picking a running mate, is it going to cause problem for both candidates now that we know what we know, Cummings and Boakai? I will start with Iremi Gray. Delay, is it dangerous? That's the question. Delay, is it dangerous to both Cummings and Boakai?
You know, I think the sooner people get to know who complements either of these candidates, the sooner they'll stop, poking that individual or to be able to make a final decision. Lots of folks suffering from gas right now waiting. when the food is cooking and it's taking too long, you suffer from gas. So a lot of folks are probably in a realm right now. They want to hear something tangible, and I always say, for some of us, and by the way, I may have been during the foundation of the ANC as a whole. I may have been around that foundation era. I was a part, and I remain a part as an ideologue, but I'm not a fanatic. I always tell people I have good head over my shoulder. If you give me somebody really, really credible, you will see me, somehow leaning your end. I'm not a fanatic to say this is my ear. I will not let you cut it out because you'll be cutting part of my flesh. Political affiliation is just an affiliation. But you telling me that delay are dangerous, they are. But I still believe that these two gentlemen, the old man and his nephew or son or brother, still believe that there is some way they can work things out. There's some way they can work things out, because I think they retire to bed at night to say, we have this big problem over our head. The Liberian people want us to deliver them from this menace we have as leadership. Any mistake we make, it will follow us for a long time. So I think wisdom sometimes sets in for them to say, gentlemen, let's delay. All this delay is like, you pick. No, you pick. And then the other one say, but I'm not picking because I'm still looking at you joining me. And I think that in that realm, they're trying to still balance this situation. But whether you pick last, whether you pick first, the idea that if one person takes the initiative to pick, that is the beginning of the end of that real division between these two people, right? Just a second here, I got it. Yeah, that's the real division between those people. But those two people feel that they get this national obligation to our people, and I don't falter them for delaying. Lots of damages were done, and to unravel that back and then come as one, it may seem impossible. But I think they still hope that there's some way they can collaborate and give the hope of the Liberian people. But it's almost impossible, I would say. But I think they're still mending fences. But what is the need of running to pick a running mate when we're still going to be divided? This disastrously, if we don't. So let's mend our fences first. Let's try one more time. If we
30
can
seconds.
let's try one more time. If we can come together, then probably we can go our separate way, but not as enemies, but
Thank
as
you.
ally in waiting for the future.
Thank you. Al Hussein, delay is dangerous.
Let me start by
Both sides playing cat and mouse.
Yeah, it is understandable why they are playing cat and mouse. But let me first jump to what Conor Gray said. I would say wishful thinking. It is not going to happen. That train have left the station. We can keep hoping for the best, but let us prepare for the worst, because the worst. I don't see any way that these two people are going to come back together anytime soon. Probably until January, when George Weah have been re-elected, and we say now and we can't how did the opposition make the mistake, then probably people will say that you say, I know what I own, probably I just want to deal with the young boy, or yeah, probably as we are going. So at that time, the ego is in. It's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. If it happens, fine. But I just think it's not going to happen. But let me tell you something. Let me start off with Omen Boykai. Oh, I supported Omen Boykai 2017 in that campaign for him, because I felt that he would have been a temporary president that will deliver a better Liberia to our generation. Not that he was necessarily the best candidate, but he was the lesser evil at that time. But things have changed. We saw him choose Nikwe, and now we are seeing him choosing. We got an option between Costa now, who professed that his people are calling him, and then Jeremiah Koo, who seems to be more likely the person that he's going to choose based on information that we are gathering from out there. I kind of question his judgment, and I kind of question a lot of things because yesterday I was like, I usually go, I live somewhere a little far from the where we have the African food, so I went to buy food yesterday, and sometimes I engage in chatter with a couple of the guys there, and I heard two statements yesterday that have me thinking. One of the guys told me, say, you know what? The native people, and I wrote it down when I left from there. I didn't want them to see me writing it down. I wrote it down so I can remember it. He said the native people want Bweka. The native people are resolved to elect Bweka. The other one said the native people do not want Cummings because the Congo people, we do not want them to come back in power. I wrote that down when I got in my car. And there was reason why I wrote those things. And I will give you a later on. I hope you don't take my 2 minutes because the 2 minutes I will exhaust everything here. So when they said that, it had me thinking, you know, what are we looking at to choose our leader? Look at Costa. I mean, Costa is a fine gentleman. He's eloquent. But somebody want to even measure Costa with George Weah. The first thing, the board doesn't have the temperament as George Weah. And I'm just getting off course. How can you even come close to making, I mean, we don't want this person, but how do you come close to even elevating Costa to a vice presidential material? And people think being president or vice president or heartbeat away from the presidency, it's not all about eloquence. You're talking about the temperament. Look, one of the things that we have done with this president is we underestimate George Weah. George Weah or President Weah is not an ordinary individual. President Weah is one of a kind in Africa. He actually did something for us to be calling his name. Not only in Liberia, this man excited millions of people around the world. Ordinary people do not do that. Ordinary people do not do those things. He may not be as eloquent as we want. He may not have applied himself. He may be a horrible president, but as an individual, he is one of a kind in the world. Those people have special. What have these young men, Jack Call, black male people talk to? So when I listen to it, because I'm like, how do people make this decision? How does one jump up from the native people want this person and this person is something when we are all Liberian? Nobody asking for his qualification. Nobody asking about what he did for himself in corporate America. Nobody asking that he could attract foreign direct investment. Nobody asking that Ellen, who has almost similar background as Comey, like her or hate her, when she was president, it didn't matter whether you were CDC or RP. Every Liberian enjoyed something in the country, even when we had all the things. So I was looking at like, what are these guys looking at? So people will say, you know book, you not know book, I will vote for you. We start coming in our head, we start coming up with all these things when we are ready to make bad decisions. Like, oh yeah, you know boy, or you kill my mind, you kill my power. So we start coming up with all these excuses so that we can make the same bad mistake again. So voters vote for the president. Voters.
I gave you 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Voters do not vote for the vice president. The reason we are in this vice president nightmare is because of exactly what I'm saying. People look for vain things. Now, Coon, look, there was a damning allegation against Coon. They call this man human organ trafficker. So if you are a supporter of Costa and you listen to that thing, imagine having a vice president that is a human organ trafficker. That means all our children, their kidney and liver would disappear. I don't know if it is true. I do not believe it. But Costa made that allegation on his show. That is something that nobody talking about. I will be scratching my head. Then you have the two leading contenders for one of the leading opposition. We got Jeremiah Coon, who is an alleged human organ trafficker. Then we got Costa, who is an on-record blackmailer, someone that have made name for himself, blackmailing people and insulting people left and right, doesn't seem to even have the mental capability to withstand the regimen of being a president. And then people worry about why are we waiting for? So what there for you to look for? In the first person you have already chosen. So I think Cummings is even afraid now to make a choice because he might even make the wrong decision too, because it's a labyrinth thing. We got a very bad things to look at when we're looking for a leader. And I will leave it at that.
Thank you. You know, Leo is the only man who say he from all the parties, he from one particular party. And you know the funny thing about it, you not talk about Kun, about Costa, about JMB, you forgot about Cummings. And I'm not sure if Leo will pick it up from there. Because you never said one thing about Cummings though, but we'll give it to Leo this time.
I will pick it up for all of them because I will talk about all of them.
Go ahead, Leo, go ahead.
The first thing I will start by saying, I don't think the problem in Liberia is we got everybody talking about a process they seem to know very little about. Politically, let's get to where the whole science of picking a vice president became such a major part of a political process, even though the role of the vice president is a ceremonial role. Technically, you're working at the vestiges of the president and you know whatever the president says or so. So it's not like a very active role unless a president so chooses to make their vice president active. So let me say the first thing. I've always argued that, first of all, it's already too late for everybody. And being late, in my opinion, is an important statement. And here's what it says. The reason for early start of selecting a vice presidential candidate or a running mate is to allow for proper vetting. Because when you run into politics, you want to see people, you want to know about what is in the public about them. You really don't know more than that most of the time. So now the person who you've been working with for the last 25 years can be right there. You want to know what you know. One day they need to pull forward for something very important. And then things start. And let me tell you why proper vetting is important. Number one, the only thing that people focus on finding an ally who shows up your perceived gaps in Liberia, like a big thing we can jump on. And you know, Joseph Boakai from Lofa. So when he select Kun from Nima, then potentially he can win Nima and Lofa. So that two big counted and he now win, so that I think we can be talking about. Cummings from Maryland. You know, Maryland may not get too much vote. So when he selects someone from Bon County or from Nima or from Lofa, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not saying there's no value in that. There are values in that. Because it's politics at the end of the day. You want to play the numbers game. I agree with that. But here is the challenge, though. When you pick a vice presidential candidate, you are sending a clear message to supporters alike and people who you want to win over. Immediately, without even saying a word, your vice presidential pick is your first major message, serious message to the nation of what your presidency could look like. That means who are the type of people that you trust around you? Who are the kind of people that you are confiding in to be your confidants and advise you? So they say, show me your friends and the people you hang out with, I will really tell you who you are. So if you just judge only on the normal side and you're not judging all the other stuff, and we look at the men that you pick, the men are big criminal, but because the man from Bon County or from Nima, then you say, oh yeah, the man right to Peter. It's clear to me the kind of presidency you want to run is a criminal and you're making your confidant. The second piece why it's important to do it early is that you're vetting the person public and personal history and records. The public one is easier to find. And you know, because we can look at it in the public. The one you not know, that the personal one you not know. So when you select somebody early enough, it gives the population an opportunity to put that person under the microscope and test them. To see, first of all, the person here that somebody like, for example, we heard Costa saying Jeremiah Kuhn shipping him parts. That's my first time hearing that ever. And by the way, to admit, he provided an apology, right? That he actually published for everybody to see.
No,
yes,
which means that statement though.
No.
It doesn't
matter. I just want to state it for the record because I mentioned what he said. So I wanted to just state it on the record. But you vet that candidate. The third thing I would say is you do that to prevent a catastrophic derailment of the campaign due to something scandalous or something damaging coming out after you've already made that judgment call, when there is zero time to do the crisis control and management to deal with whatever comes out. You're 6 months away from the election. You pick vice presidential candidate. You pick one coming soon. And then in 2 months down the road, something nasty comes out that shakes the whole nation. That if you just had known, when do you have the time to do crisis control and management before the election? The other piece I would say, failure to
I don't mean to cut you off. Just hold on right there. About 5 minutes ago, the Xfinity car came by, and I'm a customer of Xfinity. I took the picture with the Xfinity on it, and I'm noticing that I'm having this problem again. If that happens and my phone go off, my gadget goes off, don't worry about it. We'll be back again the next day. I took a picture of the van and everything, seated right in front of me here for 5 minutes. Let's proceed. Go ahead.
Thank you. Especially in a country like Liberia, where everything based on gossip. Our people, they don't know how to read book. Our people, they got no proper evidence gathering. Everything are gossip. So you go select a vice president, somebody wait 2 months now, you pay a vice president and drop some kind of bombshell that the whole country start running where you got no time to we all here. When people go here and say Alexander Cummings was fingering document and talking to court, let's say it was 6 months to the election. Alexander Cummings' hope for running for election would have been over. Because before the court case was decided and decision made, it would have been trashed out, but it would have been after the election, after the fact, which would have damaged him. So the last thing I will actually say here is that picking a vice president, thank you for putting the apology from Henry Costa here. So like I said, and he said he reached out to Senator Cohn already. The next thing I will say is this, is that getting in a marriage that turns out to be a bad marriage, except that it's close to impossible to get yourself out of it. It's too late once you're in it. Number two, what gaps are Vice President Joseph Boakai going to be showing if we're hearing with Senator Cohn, almost from sources now hearing that this deal is a done deal, coming from the legislature that the Liberian people have identified as the most corrupt government institution in the whole history of Liberia, number one. Alexander Cummings, number two. Alexander Cummings, in my opinion, have more grounds to cover. Because Vice President Boakai have built political capital, whether you like him or not. He's been around. He's built capital. Alexander Cummings has been around the shortest. So he needs to build more political capital, which means Alexander Cummings needs more ambassadors on the ground than anybody else. And there is no bigger ambassador of your campaign than your vice presidential pick, who now becomes the chief messenger from you directly going out there across the country and winning over their influencers. Remember, most of the people you were potentially picked were people who may not have been supporting you earlier on. They were supporting other parties now, but they're crossing over. So they need time to kind of quiet down the little noise that will come out in your party when you select somebody who the party view is a bad thing. Hey, somebody show face. So my people, send the CEO show face. I want to let you know that please, yeah.
I was letting y'all talk your own. All of y'all finish talking your own. I ready to talk my own. They all men just jump there. Click up. So you can't imagine the way the men jump. I think y'all can hear the sound. Click up. Like how you jump in. Ladies and gentlemen, the former CEO out there in radio and television, it looks like he wants to have a say on the other matter. He won't get me changed because if I fire the 3 people and you will run away from them, including Leo and who talking here, blah, blah, blah. And Leo, friend, and they're talking about then get vice presidential candidate. But Cummings, he not even get, we even here say he carrying Fadiga, brother. That's the part of disturbing for me.
Ali Cummings to organ seller.
Yeah, but you know the thing about it, we're talking about the man, but your Cummings said they're not even talking about the man with carry. What are women need?
But maybe they may not come out to announce a vice presidential candidate for Cummings and Boakai. So y'all get a mention.
Let me get a mention because Cummings Upa, we didn't even get one person need with Tiggy off. But anyway, the former CEO, he wants to chime in. Chime in on your side.
No, it's okay. Listen, guys, thank you very much. Ireme, Leo, Al-Hussein, thanks. Great composition. I just want to listen. It's okay. It's okay for the delay. It's okay for the delay.
You were telling about Cummings VP page.
I'm in Ryder. How you doing, Ireme? Good to see you. It's okay for the delay, though. No problem. It's okay. There's no need to rush this thing, Fagon. You know, I hear him Al-Hussein, this guy confusing me. I'm concerned about Fadiga. Is this a real Fadiga? Listen. Ireme, let's do this today. I like what you said. It's okay for the delay. Costa is our friend. Read the post that Costa put up. Read this post. And Leo was talking about this post. It's important. I do believe that at the end of the day, he reached out, which is a fair game. Once he reached out, everybody happy. But can he come back to say the big one? Can he say, I, Henry Pedro Costa, I'm not interested in being VP to Jose Yima Boakai? Can he say, I will support Jose Yima Boakai? Anything, and anyone Jose Yima Boakai take, I will support. Can he do that?
You should also add that Jeremiah Cohen, Low Logo, and organ trafficker.
No, my man, take your
They
balance
man finish with that thing, man. You
Yeah,
talking what day?
Stanton, one important question you're asking, he also then say, even if JMB pick Jeremiah Kuhn, I would be fully supporting that ticket also for the president.
I would disagree with that, Leo. I don't think it would be appropriate, because you know why? He should hold that trump card. So whoever JMB pick, he support JMB. He will support JMB. But that person now have to negotiate and make themselves a good person for Costa to accept, or for Leo to accept, or for Fagon to accept. The person should sell themselves. But let's talk about Commies a little bit. Commies playing a game of chess. Beautiful. Commies should wait. If I Commies, I'll wait after JMB. I will never go ahead to say, you know what? Oh, yeah. I will wait. Listen, Comey's doing the damn right thing. He will wait after JMB. And when JMB made a mistake, take Jeremiah Cohen. Comey was not Jeremiah Cohen. Comey is stupid. So you see Remy Great try to play it soft. We understand where Remy coming from.
But
they're offering right now. They say, Lord, we backing you. JMB shouldn't tell Jeremiah Cohen. We backing you. Because you know what happened? Information reaching to us. They say, Mr. Comey, slow down. Mr. Comey, pause. Mr. Comey, you are not in a haste, though. No. You are the underdog here. But one thing they are praying to God, wait. Let JMB make a mistake. Take Youngblade. Let JMB make a mistake.
I don't know why you guys
No. But listen, though. But listen. The Liberian people are not waiting. The Liberian people are not waiting for your excitement, brother. They are not.
I have a different analysis on that whole
listen,
but you're not in it, people Kim.
I would say this because you know why? I just came in to chime in, and Leo already gave me 2 seconds. If you want to win election in Liberia right now, to all of our followers, to all those that listen to us, you need Nimba. You cannot win election right now without Nimba. CDC knows that. No matter what CDC going up, coming down, that peak, that Nimba thing, is a thorn in the flesh. 2 things were happening for CDC. There should be no JMB and ABC. They won by splitting the CPP. They won by making that big separation. You know the next year? There should be no JMB and Jeremiah Cohen. So they will do everything possible. And they will go to the grandma and the grandpa. They will go to the bush and pray and do everything possible that there will be no Jeremiah. Listen, you are winning Nimba. The people of Nimba, their son going to be VP. The people of Nimba, the Manon, the Gio, the Crown, the Madingo, their son will be the next in line. How dare you to say they will not support Jeremiah Cohen? How dare you to say they will not support him? When JMB picked Jeremiah Cohen, it's a game changer. Brother, I'm not going to do this thing every day. But my concern is, guys, I will leave this with you. If JMB picked Jeremiah Cohen, who left in Liberia for Commies to pick? Leo. Who left in Liberia for Commies to pick? Listen, guys, listen. And all Liberians listen to me. Because I can tell you today, there will come a time that Costa will put up the hands of whosoever JMB pick. Whosoever. You know Yombly is here in the state. You know the Yombly party now, they will understand there's a reason why Yombly will settle in as a pro tem. You know that. We all know the story. If JMB win election, Yombly is a pro tem. You know that. Yombly will settle for that. She's not going to CDC. She's not going to Mr. Commies. If Yombly is not big, Yombly will support Jose Yima Boakai. Look at Ben Nayure, 100% Jose Yima Boakai. DeLong, 100% Jose Yima Boakai. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. What JMB is doing is calculated. But if JMB made a mistake, I can double dare you. Commies will be the happiest.
When are you scared to say
the
state that Commies?
Wait. I can't wait for all the heavy analysis you not made.
I'll wait.
Therefore, just for United Party people to say they come what they're supporting John. We are here pre-John. He said more ago, we will be suffering behind here in the trenches. You leave or go bring us out of the party.
Brother,
No, that one will not happen.
Leo, I beg you guys, I will retain my time. I beg you. It is important, Leo, what you just said, 100%. But sometimes in guerrilla warfare, you go in with your best player. You want to win the war. The Lord will not be happy. Yombly is not happy. Bernard Ewing will not be happy. Di Costa, I can call him the H. He may not be happy. But guess what happened? They will have to come to reasoning that if they choose to remove George Manawia, the only ticket right now without comments would be the JMB and the Jeremiah Kun ticket. If you ask a question, no, Leo, you're not doing this to me.
Go ahead.
Dr. Richardson is not on the show. You're not doing this to me today.
I hear the for a long time. No.
I'm begging you. You will not do this to me. I beg for this time to come on. Let me use it wisely. I will say this to you. If Nimba goes, because Prince Johnson actually going to deliver Nimba along with Jeremiah Kun. So what you want to say? CDC cannot take Nimba. If Jeremiah Kun is on the ticket. There goes Nimba. Lofa, they cannot take Lofa. 2017, 90%. Don't mind that they won with the senator race on Councilor Jada. That's it. Lofa go. Listen now. Let me lay this for you guys. Then you can continue your show. CDC. Try in Lofa. They say they win. Let's go to Nimba. Nimba fall on the UP. Lofa, UP. Grand Bassa that you're looking at with Besson guy secretly supporting Unity Party.
Charlene Besson
where Yombly agreed to support the old man and be pro-tem. Where's the Charlene Bronskin? Where you get the Kanga and the Bronskin. Grand Bassa go. Fadiga, don't do your tabata to me. Don't do this today. You will hear me out and hear me well. And I will say to you,
no.
In the light of all of that, you begin to fight for Monserrato. They don't concord. You say, I agree, I will support JMB. Costa is in the country. The Lord is in the country. Yombly is right there in Monserrato. They are there in Monserrato. The fight began. CDC got but 30%. They have reduced to 15. They will never win Monserrato. They will never win Monserrato because a certain government have never won Monserrato. You guys know that. So there goes Nimba. There goes Lofa. Bon County Prince Boy, you're going to deliver Prince Boy because they're fighting right now. Something about Joa Howard Taylor. It will come on later about Bon County. There goes Bon County. There goes Monserrato. Tell me in the good heaven, Fadika, I will send you back to Senegal. I will let you play that game you want to play for Senegal national team. There will be no way CDC will win election when Lofa fall, when Nimba fall, when Grand Bassa fall, when Magiri fall, when Monserrato fall, when Bon County fall. Leave the Southeast. And I will tell you this before I leave. Guys, let me say this to you before I leave. I double dare you. It will be hard when Senator Jeremiah Kun on that ticket for Edwin Snow to accept to be the campaign chairman for CDC.
But the ticket for him,
Snow cannot be a campaign chairman for CDC when Jeremiah Kun is on that ticket. Guess what happened? Edwin Melvin Snow was working along with Jeremiah Kun for the 2029 race. He cannot accept that position. You know what Edwin Snow had? Edwin Snow left the country. They still pushing him. He's still struggling with that decision. He's still wrestling with it. Should I go along with CDC if Jeremiah Kun on this ticket? The victory, the light is at the tunnel. Be not deceived, my fellow Liberian. I will be back someday. Y'all have a wonderful show, man. No.
You see, Dr. Francine just sent me message say all the time our moderating, they bought never came on the show. Fagon King there, the man just show face. Salimatu is crying with Dr. Richardson right now. But I want to say that, yeah, you know, Dr. Richardson,
I gotta beg the madam to show face. But let me tell you this though, guys. I understand how it works. Liberian people trust you guys. I want to say thanks to Fadiga, E. Remy, Leo, Napoleon Johnson, the Honorable Eugene Lamy Fagon. I want to say this to Salimatu and to Dr. Richardson. You guys doing extremely well. The Liberian people appreciate you. But it's just common sense. People cry and say they're stealing, they're trucking here and there. That's a business. They will do what they have to do. But this election is historical. You have to register to vote. I come here to say to all my fellow Liberians, those that hearing me, forget about Costa, what he said. Costa is our brother. He shall be fine. The decision lies with Joseph Yeman Boakai. And I'm receiving information that in the next 2 weeks, the old man will make his announcement. Once he makes his announcement, it's a game changer.
For 2 weeks.
I am saying this to you, and I'm saying this to everybody. Go and register to vote. If you like me, if you appreciate our effort, as we enter in every sector of the country, this is the announcement we bring forth. Please go and register to vote because it is important. 6 years. 6 years. In 6 years' time, you cannot sell your vote for $20. They have not done it for you. They will not do it for you. Are you okay today than 6 years ago? That should be your question you ask yourself. Your children, are they in school today? Your children, are they eating healthy food? Do you take your grandparents to the hospital and they receive proper care? While ministers and directors traveling all over the country, going to the best hospital. Are you okay today? Let's call a spade a spade. We will discuss about my legal issue later. You know what? I will tell you guys how it is. I just can't because I'm on a straight order not told. But listen, my fellow Liberian, ask yourself, we started this together. Are you okay today? I am moved to say to you, we were not bent. They can say what they want to say. We were calm. Leo will tell you the truth. Fadiga will tell you the truth. It remains Dr. Richardson, they will tell you the truth. That Liberia deserves better. I will say this to you. Look at our school system. Hey, Leo. May God bless you, my brother. No library, no resource center. Look at what's happening in the country. The system has failed. The system has failed. We need to speak truth to power. If it costs our death, we will die. But we need to speak truth to power. What have we done as Liberians to deserve this? Are you okay today? Madam Salif, people say she was the worst, but she paved the way. She set up an agenda. All President West should have done, come and follow suit. Are you okay today? When you are printing your own jersey,
can somebody get
and
the
say
door for
CDC, are you okay today, Fadiga? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Are we okay today? Leo, you just came back from Liberia, Leo. I know you guys would talk. You just came back from Liberia, Leo. The country needs help. Our people needs help. But I want our people, if you open the phone line, are you okay today? Are you going to bed hungry right now? Irremigrate, how many people's school fee are you paying, my brother? How many folks do you send money to eat and stay? Is not enough? Are you okay today? Try something new. Every day is one wahala to another wahala. Are you okay today? Are you satisfied? Are you willing to sacrifice another 6 years? I'm 47 years, so I will be 48 this year. Another 6 years. Trust me, I will be 54 years old. My son will be getting out of high school. Am I okay today? My phone still ringing. People are still begging. People are still crying. Are you okay today? Mom Mary, are you okay today? Are you satisfied? Are you content? Can you go to the hospital? Look at JFK. They have imprisoned a lot of people because they cannot pay the medical bills. Are you okay today? Are you going to bed hungry? We have to change the status quo. Leo, you said it right. The president fly into the country. Nobody know what happened. Everything I swear. No information. Everything I swear. The president leave the country for 48 days. Everything I swear. Then I must sit here. That means supposed to tell the government, say, take spoon talk. God forbid mid on time. That means also stand up with government and say it's okay, take the radio station and shut our mouth. No. The Liberian people deserve better. ANC deserve better. UP deserve better. The Liberian people need to be told what is right, Fadika. If we were to settle ourselves for the little things Samuel want to give, there will be no spoon talk. We'll be deceiving the Liberian people. We refuse it. We refuse it. They beg. We say no. They say we're getting 50,000. I say I don't want it. They beg. We say no. This is the Liberian People Network. This is public network. God will provide. God will provide. Liberians deserve better. There will be no way. They say, stand on do this, stand on do that at your business. Let's talk Liberia, man. Let's talk Liberia. Let's reach up. Let's talk Liberia, Fagon. Let's start this thing.
Good day, I bring my phone lines.
Let's talk Liberia. Let's open the phone call. Make him talk all. Make him talk all. Make him talk all.
Make him talk all. Let the women can talk soon too.
But the women ain't got to talk. Because Liberia deserve better. I told this time, I begged my wife, I said, please let me just say something to my fellow Liberians. Chairman Baron Barrow, Liberians deserve better. It's time for us to rise up to the occasion and to educate our people and say, make the right decision, because your 6 years of your life depends on it. I will appreciate, Jeremiah, I will appreciate ABC and Alexander Cummings to wait till Joseph Boakai call his running mate. Nobody should rush him. I will appreciate Mr. Cummings to wait, because you know what? I can tell you this, though. Who knows what Mr. Cummings have under his sleeve? Fadiga, you want to talk? Fadiga, we know you, my brother.
Man, you tell me I told my JV I put it on my head. I gotta talk something about that. I gotta talk about it. You got me. I want some.
There is no way we should play. Fadiga, there is no way we should play Tabata with the Liberian people. There is no way we should play Tabata. No foolishness with the Liberian people. Enough is enough. Let's cut it to the chase. Have George Manning, we have done enough for the country.
No.
Let's ask the Liberian people, are they better than 6 years ago? Let's ask the Liberian people, are they okay? Are they part of the bread? Are they on the field, or they just a spectator from the outside? John Manning, we are saying you will not be spectator in your own country.
They're not even listeners.
They're not even in on the stadium. If they were on the stadium, Lone Star were going to win yesterday. They are not there.
Where are they in Douala?
They're not even in Douala. They're living in
Riceville,
forests and bushes.
Let me say this to you. Let me say this. Some decision when you take it is so hard. I will leave you with this, and you can go to the phone line. And people say, Stand up, why you like Costa? I like Costa because listen, people say Costa talk. No. I rather like Costa. Me. I like him because to me, he get his ways, but he's a good man. I will say this to every one of you. We will laugh, we will vote each other here and there. I know Costa woman. Me. I know Costa. But he's a good
Costa
man.
woman? You know Costa?
I know Sange.
Move from here.
Which one you know?
Remember, I tell you something. I respect Costa family. I'm telling you, I like Costa. Me, I do. Because
he's a nice guy.
No matter the problem, he is a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. Yeah.
But let Joseph Yima Boakai decide who will be a VP. Nobody should put finger in the throat. Nobody should rush him. If Joseph Yima Boakai come today and say my VP, that Peter Harry or whosoever, let everybody that support Joseph Yima Boakai support that VP. Right. That's the way it is.
Costa is a good guy.
I will tell you guys, so my fellow Liberians, I will tell you this. CDC is still working. They will do everything to destroy and take Joseph Yima Boakai from the race. You know what CDC said? CDC said we get $5 million on the table. Whosoever remove Joseph Yima Boakai on the race, they can have it. They will do everything to take Joseph Yima Boakai off the race. So Joseph Yima Boakai got to be strong. He got to be vigilant. He got to be
swift.
bulldozer.
He got to be
fast. He got to call his running mate. But I will say this to you. When Samuel 12 I get a text message, I get an email. Offered to give $50,000 to Spoon Network. He called me. He said, "Oh man, we get 50,000." I said, "For what?" My friends then that left, you can ask them, they know. I said, "I don't want it." He said, "Man, you know you got to help the government." My man, they think that the government station, that your own son of boy, you know he from the southeast, that your this, that your that. You know how I can call Samuel Twain? Yeah. We started speaking crew. I said, "Oh man, no." No, seriously, this is very important. That's why you see some people decide not to talk about the government, to say the truth. Liberia need to hear this. Leo, I said no. I couldn't sleep. Samuel Twain text me. He sent me text. He sent me Twain the other day. You know, I got to go to Ivory Coast, say money here, blah, 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 blah. I said no. I called Ben Sembi. I called Timothy Josh. I called Dr. Peabody. And I called Kev Hassan. We're on the conference. I said, Samuel Twain want to offer money. I said, "I don't want it though." Fagon, don't let Fagon know. I said, "Though was with us at the time. You know that Richardson part, that's a sin.
Teacher Pepe.
We, you know, she wasn't part of the Guru.
The woman that Teacher Pepe.
She wasn't part of the Guru. So I said, guys, it was Christmas time, December. It was Christmas time, December. Everybody agreed. But guys, something about me, I said, I don't want it. I was downstairs. I couldn't come to bed. My wife asked my wife, "What happened? Are you disturbed?" I said, "No, everything okay." I have the text message. I have everything. I have the letter. I have the email, everything. So I called Samuel Twain. I said, "But Samuel Twain, though, you want to pay for airtime at the station? You can use that money to pay for airtime at the network." He said, "Well, man, no, you guys got to go ahead. You got to give us the information. You got to protect this government. My man, you know you met the press. My man, you know that your own country boy. My man, you can talk to the president." But you know, when Samuel Twain talking to me, I'm thinking beyond CDC. I'm thinking about Liberia. I mean, Stanley, you know, we can do X, Y, and Z. Kev Hassan was calling me, said we should accept it. Everybody said we should accept it. So then I said, you know what? It's okay. We'll get back to Samuel Twain. Jose, my mind was troubled. It's like I about to sell the country called Liberia. It's like I was about to do a 360. The reason why we decided not to, the reason why this network came into being, I was about to betray the people trust. Irami Gray, I couldn't sleep. And I'm telling you, we were all on the phone, all my friends that left. Yeah, still my friends, you know. Like somebody's birthday, I called him and I wished him happy birthday. He was surprised. But you know that's me. Nothing spoiled. You know, I reached out to them. So I said, you know what? Let me get back to you, D12. He said, "Oh, man, you got to hurry up. You got to hurry up." So 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning, I woke up because he called me. I missed the call twice. Then he called me and I went downstairs to talk to Samuel Twain. So I went downstairs to talk to Samuel Twain. Yeah, I understand. Man can talk. I will just talk a little bit. That's a lot. I understand, Percy. Man can talk about. Let me talk a little bit. So I went downstairs. I talked to Samuel Twain. Then, 5 o'clock here at the time, it was 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in Liberia. When I hearing you, Fago, you are muted. At the time, it was 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in Liberia.
I said, I better call out with it for buy but we'll tell you that bring the two.
Yeah, we have to. We have to do this thing real quick. The reason why I'm saying it, guys, this is your network. This is your radio station. I got nothing to do with it. Miss Titi is the CEO, Titi Kane. If you want to join the network, come on. Reach out to Dr. Richardson and any of these guys. Salamatu, any of them. This is your network. I shouldn't be on to make you to come on. No. I trust these guys. They will give you nothing but the truth to help save Liberia.
Yep.
So I wake up, I said, "But Ditwe?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "But he said Fagon should come and do his show, so the network would bill Fagon." That's what I told you. I said the network would bill Fagon, Leo. Then he said, No. While I was talking to him, I called Miss Titi Cannon. I said, "Miss Titi, Fagon, Senator want you to do an invoice for Fagon to start his show. Because you got to do it legit. It got to be legit. So can you do an invoice and carry to Samatwe?" Then Miss Titi said, "For Fagon to start his show?" I said, "Yes, for Fagon to start his show." Then Miss Titi said, "Okay." She put an invoice together. Let me show you guys the invoice. 1 minute. I'm trying to bring it up. She put an invoice together, and prior to taking it to Samatwe, Benjamin said, he said, "Oh no, my brother can pick the money up." So I said, "Ben, your brother?" Ben said, "Yeah, my picking can go and pick the money up." So I said, "No, but it's going through the radio station though. Let's just keep it like that, because we have to give our financial breakdown. You know, you're in business, Leo. You know how it works." And Ben said, "Oh, let my picking go pick the money up, man. My picking just right around there. He will pick the money up. Let you pick the money up." So I said, "Nah, I'm not happy with that." When I was telling you guys, Christmas time, the calculation were made. Everybody will receive no less than 7.5, 7,000 and something. So I said, "Okay, Mr. T, can you carry the invoice and let's see what Samatwe say?" Mr. T took the invoice to Samatwe, and Samatwe said, "No. Fagon only can later. This money for the guys, then our guys, then 50,000 this year. It's a cash." So then Mr. T called me. I said, "No, Mr. T, don't take it. Don't take the money." So Benjamin said, called me and said, "My picking on your way. I made Jan at Christmas time. My picking on your way for the money." So I said, "Chairman, we're not taking the money." Fadiga, I called all the guys there. I said, "We don't want the money. We're not taking the money." The guy said, "Why?" I said, "It's not a good money."
Not a good money. Who told him?
I said, "It's not a good money." I said, "If we take the money, we disgrace ourselves. If we take the money, we reduce ourselves to CDC talking point. I don't want it. I don't need it." And all my guys, they were mad. They said, "Man, at Christmas time, you can't do this to us." I said, "Ben, tell your brother to turn around. I'm calling Senator right now. He shouldn't give the money to anybody because we don't want the money." When I called Senator said the money is allocated for media. They can give the money to media people. But man, you chewing on said, my man, Fagon. He said the money is allocated for media. So then I said, if the money is allocated for media, pay the radio station directly and receive the invoice. And but I told Miss Titi she shouldn't take the money and she should forget it. So Ben, please tell your picking to go back home. Your picking shouldn't take the money, because this network will only speak for the Liberian people. This network cannot speak for CDC alone. This network should be given and open her door to all political parties. So we cannot do this. So at the end of the day, Metiti went back. She went back. I told her to leave. I told Ben, tell your brother not to pick the money up. Let he go back. I'm not taking it. I called Samatwe. I said, Samatwe, we can take your money. I called other folks. I don't want to call their name. I said, we can take the money. And I called the guys. The guys were mad. And I said, okay, all of my own pocket, I will cash out all of you guys. Say you said at Christmas, you cannot take the money out of my own pocket. I will cash out every one of y'all. You know, I have to make them happy. Guys, I cash up all of them. You know the cash app keep record is here. I cash up all of them.
You want to know how much? How much they eat on that Christmas?
Make and talk all. So I cash up all of them, and some folks were mad because of that decision. They were mad. My fellow
I mean,
Liberians.
toilet team. Then we heard the Peking went by and took the team. Toilet team, scary.
No. I'm not going to. I am not going to lie because I want to be very truthful.
Okay.
So whether the Peking went by and take you on that, I don't know about it.
Okay. Megan,
where I tell you that, what I tell you, I cash up all of them.
But I don't want moderating.
Yeah, now you moderating when you're talking. You can tell all. When I cash up all of them, Ms. Titi sent me the invoice, you know. Then I said to the guys, guys, we shouldn't sell our birthright. We should never sell our birthright. Are you talking to us, Leo? Okay. I said we should never sell our birthright because it's not the proper thing to do. We'll be hurting our fellow Liberians. They depend on us. They count on us. They trust us for information. We shouldn't do this. Peabody said, CEO, I respect you. He said, Stanton, I respect you. He said, there are other people that were going to take the money. But you know how CDC can operate? Thereafter, see what happened. I said, they'll call me. I said, they said, Stanton, what am I hearing? They say you take money from the government? I said, no, Minister Doe, I didn't. I didn't take money from the government. I said, I didn't. I said, please, you go by and find out 50,000. I said, I have the invoice here. I didn't take money. Then folks begin to call me. People begin to call me. So for Digga, you see, it was entrapment. Have you seen that show with Samuel L. Jackson? It was complete entrapment. And I said, I didn't take it. Senator refused to sign the invoice to bring Fago on, and he took his money. Whoever Senator gives this money to is up to them. I didn't take it. I would not take it. If we eat dry rice, one person remain at the station would do so. But I would not take the money because we don't need that money. Among the 10, there should be one person coming up to speak the truth to the Liberian people. The opposition may not like us. The imposition may not like us, but the people will appreciate us. How can we sell our birthright as a network and find ourselves to be credible? So when Ketemba or other people ask me about this whole money thing, I was open to Ketemba. I was open to other folks. I say, yo, go back. I didn't take no money from the government. I didn't take money from Samuel 12. I have all the text messages. I have all the emails that was done. I have everything. I didn't take money. Miss Titi didn't take money. So whoever Samuel 12 get that 50,000 to, you go ask Samuel 12. You don't ask me. Mm-hmm. Folks, Liberia deserves better. As we move to the phone line and move to election, there's a lot of things I know that I will be sharing with you. A lot of things that I know that I will be sharing with you. Liberia deserves better. We may not be perfect, but as we strive towards perfection, we should understand that Liberia first. People go to bed hungry. People are suffering. It's hard in the country. It's rough. It's difficult. But let's put the Liberian people first, then our own. Let's stop the fast money. Let's stop chasing that which will be given to us, like a crumbs. The cemetery we gave you this. The person will call you on the side. Liberia deserves better.
Yep.
We come together as Liberian. We should come together as Liberian and say Liberian deserve better. Whether it's Joseph Boakai or Mr. Cummings, whether the people decide to put George Manneh we are back there, then I mean that people those they appreciate. Liberia deserve better. May God bless you. May God keep you. May God shine his face upon you. This too shall pass. And by and by we will see each other and celebrate. Be not deceived. Liberia will rise again. That day will come that everybody will come together and say, sweet Liberia. And go back to Zach and Ziba song and say, sweet Liberia.
Oh God.
We will. We will. I'm okay. Those of you that pray, I'm fine. God is in control.
A better cola we eating now.
You have to trust the Lord. And this too will pass. You will go to one of the best schools. You will go to one of the best hospitals. You will eat and there will be enough left over for the next day. Your children will be happy. Your husband will bring home the paycheck that you will appreciate. You will go to the market to do your business and your business will be sold. You will travel outside of Liberia and be happy to return to your homeland. You will travel outside of Liberia and say, I must go back home because I will enjoy my pepper kara. I will enjoy my roasted cassava. I will enjoy my cassava and coconut. You will be happy just to go back home.
Yes, sir.
You will be happy to stay up at night. Whenever you want to go to bed with your doors open, you will be happy to walk in one panton and nobody will harass you. You will be happy, my fellow Liberian, to be part of the system and not an outsider in your own country. The day will come and you remember these words, that God will never forsake you, neither will he neglect you.
Yes, sir.
God is still God on the throne. Fagon, take your shoe away. I know you open the phone line. Fadiga, I'm sorry.
Opening the phone line.
You have a question for me, Fadiga? But I'll say
no,
to
you are scared to tell the people how he tell you for the 50,000.
Yeah, Fagon, you went after me for 50,000. I don't know, but I told you the truth. I don't know who cemetery gave it to. I said I don't want it.
And I said, well,
I'm not going to speculate. But people ask me about the 50,000 story. I just explained it now. None of them we take for the government. We met the president.
I understand the girl 100,000 too.
When we met the president, I have seen when we met the president, the food we all ate, we pay for it. Okay? Now the government pay for it. Liberian people need to know the truth. Because you know why? As we go close to election, we need to ask them, are you better off? Are your children better off? Are you happy to give back to CDC 6 years? Just a fair question. We are
Stay on the set with us. Stay on the set. We're going to open the lines.
Are you happy to give back to CDC another 6 years? Are you happy?
You can't ask
questions. Are you happy to give back to CDC when your electricity coming as a Christmas light, e-remigrate on and off like a Christmas time? Are you happy to give back to CDC when your children go to school 2 hours and they got to stay home for 1 month? Are you happy to give back to CDC when the university campus is still leaking and nowhere students can sit to do research? Are you happy to give back to CDC when JFK get no medication? Are you happy to give back to CDC when you have to beg and wash the cars and open the gate and stay as a good man just to feed your family?
And why can't we see champagne on their car?
Are you happy to give back to CDC when they're eating lobster while you busting pakana? Are you happy to give back to CDC? Are you happy to give back to CDC that your president can just go out of the country for 48, 50 days, 90 days and abandon you and neglect you, and when you return, no say? Are you happy to give back to CDC? My fellow Liberians, are you happy to give back to CDC where there's more Zogos in the country, a national
policemen.
security concern, than the very policemen that are supposed to protect you? Are you happy to give back to CDC? Are you happy to give back to CDC when you worry whether you'll be the next RIP, rest in peace, the next day? Are you happy to give back to CDC? Are you happy to give back to CDC when you travel to Liberia? You got to stay at a Femiton hotel because you cannot travel on the road at night. Recently, the worst accident ever happened on that road. Are you happy to give back to CDC? Amen.
Let's get to the phone lines. The people want to answer. The lines are hot.
No. They're going to answer the question. But we got to tell the Liberian people today, since I was given the okay by my wife, oh God, thank you. Are you happy, Iremi, to give back? Let me take this thing from my ear. To give back to CDC. Are you happy to give back to CDC? Something for century that they have taken from you. The worst education system in the country. Are you happy to give back to CDC? Are you happy to give them another 6 years? Are you happy to give CDC another 6 years when there is no one company this government have brought in the country? Tell me which company have they brought? Are you happy to give back to CDC when the people are suffering and submit to a cut the pay on a harmonization and turn around and increase everything? Are you happy to give back to CDC when the system is so rotten? Corruption is the call of the day. Are you happy to give back to CDC when your president cannot speak to you and he cannot a speech from you? Are you really happy to give back to CDC? Listen. Uncle Pete, it's good to see you. Let's open the phone line. Uncle Pete, you the first caller. Let's open the phone line.
Yes, open the line, man.
Go ahead. Talk to us, Uncle Pete.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Lord have mercy. I thank God for you, Stanton. You know what? I can't talk too much because I just came to urgent care. I'm not feeling well. But I just couldn't.
Man can't talk, Uncle Pete.
When I saw you on this show, but you know what? I will come up tomorrow morning and respond. I want Liberians to listen. I'm at urgent care right now.
I wish you well, Uncle Pete. We wish you well. Right. And you can come on the show tomorrow, okay? We'll send you the link tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. But my fellow Liberians, I want to say before I leave you, and I know sorry to take Fagon show away from him, I just want to ask you, are you happy to give back to CDC? George Manawea is the best soccer player, we agree. But are you happy
I'm
to
happy
give
you
back
came
to
on,
CDC?
man. You brought some juice.
Are you happy to give back to CDC, Fadika, everything you have ever worked for? That the country is in a worse shape than 1822. Are you happy to give back to CDC? When there is no report about who killed Princess, when there is no report about who killed Gloria Mususka's daughter, are you happy to give back to CDC? When there is no report about Bati Yanswa, are you happy to give back to CDC? When there is no report about Gertie Lamar, oh man, are you happy to listen? I will bring her husband Sylvester on the show. Are you happy to give back to CDC when you live in fear in your own country? Come on, listen. Let's be serious for once. Are you happy to give back to CDC what they have given you? On that question, they have given you nothing, so give them nothing. They have given you -0. That's why you cannot leave from that 9th grade. That's why you still taking class over and over the same class at the University of Liberia. That's why when you leave the country, you go into the modern world, you just 0 - 0 because you know why? The university is a waste. One thing this government will always do, free education, no substance. We pay for your education, but 0. If you're in Liberia, have you visited the campus? The University of Liberia campus? Ask Akaris Gray. Ask Eugene Fagon. Ask Iremi Gray. Ask those folks. Semekedo Tan, the University of Liberia, student used to come from Ghana, Sierra Leone, Guinea. Tobo Tan. Liberia school system, the MCSS, was a vibrant school system.
Yep. Yep.
Are you
You're
willing
right.
to give CDC another 6 years? Are you kidding me? Are you willing to give CDC another 6 years? Let us
And the people answer before they run away.
Are you
Let
willing
them
to
answer.
give CDC another 6 years? Are you serious? The people, they are so damn corrupt that they corrupt themselves. No, to be frank.
They're so corrupt that they can tell you about 50 billion and they never even hear your country.
Brother, now let me frank. Say what you want to say about me. Say the worst about me, it's okay. But this is about Liberia. Are you willing to give back to CDC under these conditions? The D-hole and cover hole every day? Come on, guys. Wake up, Liberians. You don't have to insult the president to make your views heard. No. Are you willing to give back to CDC? Are you serious? Are you willing? That's what you want to do? You got to open your eyes. Samatua will never change. Samora Watercall will never change. President Ware will never change them. He will never change them. Allegation of massive corruption. If I say this, it will close Spoon Talk down. But you will not close Facebook down. Are you willing to give back to CDC? Our country is bleeding. Our country is dying. Our country is on CPR, on the last life support. You got but 7 months to go to make a decision for your children, for your babies, for the unborn, for your mother, your father, your grandparents. 7 months. Don't sell your birthright. Don't sell your country birthright. Pago?
Let's do the phone lines.
May God bless her. And I hope that tomorrow when we have Salamatu Donkey, Dr. Richardson, y'all don't repeat what I said, because I know that at the end of the day, God is in control. God will bless Liberia. I have sedition friends. I respect them, but I just don't agree with the decision in running a good government. I think President George Manneh, we need to recalibrate if he can. Folks around him or himself, they have deceived the nation. They have failed the people. They have failed the nation. They need to go back to the drawing board. The people deserve better. The people's life deserve better. The people need to stop toiling on the beach. The people need to stop eating pakana pan cabbage. You cannot build house for them and let them go on the beach to toilet. That's not the system we want. You cannot build all the empty building and call hospital, but they have to put pregnant women in wheelbarrow to take them from one place to another place in somebody's kitchen for them to give birth. That's not the system we want. Are you better off? People are dying mysteriously in the country. No answer from the president. The president have never spoken. System is corrupt. The president failed to speak. Are you better off? Ask yourself this question and make a decision. If you agree to keep President George Manneh where, it's up to you. If you want Mr. Cummings, you decide. If you want Joseph Yimambwaka, you decide. But I will wait. Mr. Cummings will choose his running mate. GMB will choose his running mate. Tewa Gonglo will choose his running mate. President George will already have his running mate. And I will come on the show to declare who I will ask the Liberian people to vote for. I will do it because it's my God's given right. And I will do it. Liberia
I'm the moderator. I will approve that one.
Go ahead, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much, the former CEO of Spoon Network, making a rare appearance here. And now he has to sit down and wait for the answer because he cannot disrespect the people. Brian, bring the people on. This man cannot ask them questions and walk away. he will be disrespecting the Liberian people, because at the end of the day, it's his question that they are going to answer. Let's move, Brian. Put the
Let's go
numbers
to
up.
the lines. I mean, Liberians are watching right now. This person. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
You have 1 minute. What is your name and where do you call from?
Brother, I'm Maurice Sama calling from Chicago Factory.
All right, 1 minute.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the CEO for me to hear his voice. We have been praying to act with him. We pray that God may deliver him and God may go with him too. After telling you, my brother, whatever the CEO is saying, we are in moving and we are doing. We are here as that man. We've been telling you, what are you saying now? What the people must say, we know what's going on in Labroye. We will make the decision, and we know what's going on, and we will never allow for the government to go anymore back and for the 5th year. Today, me, I have 3 children.
Okay.
This is my first time in history. My children cannot go to school for 2 years.
Thank you, my dear brother. Are you satisfied with your current status, your life? That's a 1 minute question from the CEO. Good evening.
We got somebody.
Welcome to Spoon Talk. All right, CEO, do you want to take some?
Yeah, I beg you. Let me take this one person. Go ahead, my friend.
Okay.
Okay. How are you, brother? How you doing?
Good. Your name and where you calling from?
Okay, I'm Brother P. Jimmy Kofa calling from Baltimore, Maryland.
Go ahead. Make your point, sir.
Okay. There's a brother. There are 2 brothers in Philadelphia. They call me P. Jimmy Costa because I'm P. Jimmy Kofa. They call me P. Jimmy Costa. The reason is that I love Costa business. Every time I listen to him, whenever I mean a show coming on, that he got a signal me, I will switch it on. That my brother and myself come together. But on 2 different occasions, they stopped Brother Costa not to say something. He said, "Oh, okay." And anyhow, he said 2 things. I can remember them. The reason is that from that day, I've never ever left to listen to him.
So you think that Labroye is better off today than 6 years ago?
No. The reason I'm saying this one is this. Brother Costa, the reason is that when the JB or.
But you already answered the question. I'm sorry, the phone line is going up. I'm begging you. Maybe we'll have you back again, okay? The phone line is going crazy. Chairman, take that one real quick. Then I will take one on this end.
All right. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to Spoon Talk.
No, thank you very much. This is Bobby and Abu Meska. I've formed this series from the SC Cooper Road District 6.
Okay.
But let me appreciate the panelists this evening for the show and the discussion. And let me first appreciate the CEO for that motivation, for motivating Liberian and opening Liberian eyes to know who to vote for because of the kind of mess today that we are in as a country and as a people. It is not easy all. Our own government has calculated us to the extent that we cannot even afford to eat as young people. There is no jobs in this country for us. That is the reason every day we motivate our people. We call upon them to go and register to see how best that we can make.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. We said 1 minute. You have to work in that identical time.
James, can you put the number up, James? Can you put the number up, the international number? Chairman, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening.
Yeah,
you have to walk away. You have to walk away from your monitor, please.
Yeah, I'm part of.
You have 1 minute. What is your name?
This is only coming from we're here to this service. Think of today, the families and our values to Nigerian people. I'm so happy to hear the voice of the radio voice. Nigeria is not we're crying every day. Well, what said they before? And I love the analysis of Mr. Sanchez about the vice running made of Baka. And it is true. It is true that any mistake made, then you pick the one.
Okay.
Thank you. I got 1 year, Chairman Byron. I got 1 year. Go ahead, my friend. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Kou, and I'm calling from Iowa.
Make your point. You think Liberia okay today than 6 years ago or 5 years ago?
Zero. Liberia is 000-09. Then 5 years ago.
Thank you very much. I have to take this other call real quick. I beg you, my sister. Thank you very much. Go ahead, my friend. Your name and where you calling from?
Georgia Davies. I'm so happy to hear your voice again, Stenson. This Georgia Davies from Austin, Texas.
Says Georgia, Liberia happened today than 6 years ago. You think Liberia is in a better shape?
Do you know the kind of money I have to send home all the time? No, it's not happy with Liberia right now. No, I am not.
Thank you, Georgia. I will talk to you tomorrow, Georgia. Let's
Yeah, I got one here. I got one here.
Musa Keita. Oh, he hang up. After this one, real quick.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Take yours. Take yours, Remy.
What's your name?
How you doing? You gotta increase the volume, Remy.
CEO, I want to say I'm so happy to see you.
Hello, hold on 1 minute. You be nice. Hold on, okay? All right. Thank you.
I'm happy to see you, CEO. Stater Waterspoon, I'm happy to see you.
Thank you very much. Happy to see you too. Let's take this corner. Is Liberia better today than 5 years ago?
President now. Move on, yo.
Okay.
Hello? Yes. Is Liberia better today than 5 years ago?
No.
What's your name and where you calling from?
Oh, I'm Mr. Isaac Alexander Yoyo. I'm calling from Canada, Hamilton.
Well, Mr. Isaac, thank you. Why you say no? Why do you think Liberia is not better today? Hold on, please.
It's just Korea. The writing is on the wall. It's everywhere. The writing on top of the ocean. When the birds are flying, they're flying with it. And it's smelling all over the place.
My man, it's good to have you. I hope I can have you tomorrow, man. I know you get a book to write because Liberia need help right now. But we'll leave it right there. Let me take this other caller real quick, my dear friend. Thank you for calling.
No problem. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you calling from? Hello? Prince.
Power on.
Prince put himself on hold. Let me take this one real quick. Hello, my friend. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, hello?
Yes, your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Malcolm J. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Malcolm J, my brother. Go ahead, talk to us. Liberia better today than 6 years ago?
Yes, Liberia is better today than 6 years ago, and I don't think that Liberian people are going to listen to a criminal like you. Thank you.
You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Let's take another one.
Right there.
Let's take another one. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Savannah Stephenson. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Savannah, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good.
Go ahead, make your point. Liberia better off today?
No.
But you gotta lower your receiver, though, Savannah. You gotta lower your receiver. From which end? Why you say Liberia is not better?
No, the drug is so much in the country.
There you go.
Hey, my brother, I hope we got more time, but people calling in like crazy. I know. Let me take Ojukwu real quick. Let me take Ojukwu because I know Ojukwu will get us to blink if we do not take him. Ojukwu, my friend, how you doing?
I am so excited to just hear that from me. Learning voice I've been missing, brother. God bless you. You are great. That's all I want to say. I'm so
my man, but you gotta answer the question. Liberia better today than 6 years ago?
I want to play the shit, but I think I will. Let me tell you something. Let the Liberian people decide. If I were on my way going to go and vote, then I was going to answer the question. But to me, let them decide.
Thank you.
I told my family, 1 minute here, I told my family, everybody in the Tagi household, if you just decide your decision, don't call me here.
Hey!
I have my children.
Not deal. Hey! But man, let me take praise. Let me take praise. I'll talk to you later, Ojukwu. Thank you. Prizo, my man, I hope you're there. Are you okay? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
My man, but you got to take us from on that hole, my man. Thank you for joining Spoon Talk. Is Liberia better today than 6 years ago? We take any answer.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm getting you. How you doing? Welcome back on the show. I think Liberia is not better. I think Liberia more than three different times. I was getting like in March. It's degenerating. I know we need to work together to liberate Liberia. Those that managing the country, they are not managing the wealth. So we need for Liberia to be liberated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, folks. I can't listen. Fagon, I'm dealing with two phones. I just going all crazy. You see?
Go ahead. That's why I'm enjoying.
We gotta take off from Liberia, my man. We gotta take off from Liberia. Let's listen to the Liberian people. Is Liberia better today than 6 years ago? What kind of tabata are you telling us? It's not about me. It's about the Liberian people. Somebody right now in Chicken Soup Factory, they're going to bed hungry. Somebody right now in Noapaton, they're drinking only water, dead water, to run their stomach going to bed. Somebody is at Redemption Hospital right now. They are dying because of no oxygen. Like what happened to my sister. Somebody somewhere right now. And you want to tell us Tabata? You want to make us understand that we get common sense? Is Liberia better today? Are you okay because you can wash the director car to get you $10? Are you okay because you can drive the children to school? Is that what you want? Are you okay because somebody give you one bag of rest? 10 kg, 25 kg. Will that last you for 6 years? Are you okay because the minister can come to your house and bring a Jew? Are you okay? Are you okay because you are so complacent? Yeah, it's okay. I can get my 150 here and there. That why you will eat for 6 years? Ask yourself the fundamental question.
Let's run it. Let's run it, Baron.
Is Liberia better off today than 5 years ago when President George Weah came to power and said you will not be spectator in your own country? Is Liberia better off today?
All right. Okay, so let me announce the local lines. 0777 77 1075 0555 101075. This person. Good evening.
To is confirmed and good evening to our listeners across the world.
Go straight to the point. Go straight to the point. 1 minute, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Michael Williams, and I joined from President Donald L. Former CEO of Self-Organization, I'm happy to hear from you. Did the upper room ministry, brother Michael Williams. Like the question the former CEO is asking my brother, Labrador is no near better. Labrador have gone worse than ever we know in this country. Sometimes you can imagine, I am a heavy duty operator. I have since the inception of this government, I have gone everywhere with letters, drafting letters to the few little entities that will guide or companies that will get a job. Way.
Thank you, my dear brother.
Kids are not in school.
Thank you.
Is also done.
Thank you, my dear brother. Thank you. I said 1 minute.
Liberia is below better, he said.
Good evening.
What else thank God for you and long live Spoon FM.
Yes.
The answer is big no. Liberia has retrogressed to the least. Liberia has become one of the least countries in Africa and the entire world. Liberia has become a no-go zone. So we hope that God we can change. We can make a better decision this time around to take these people out of power and take the blood from the safety there and put it back on the land.
Thank you, my dear brother.
Let's take the last caller because the CEO, Mr. Tikana, will find us because Ibrahim Grace, the woman said 6:30, 10:30, but now we're going to 11 o'clock. Take the last caller. Be back tomorrow. We got more important breaking news for you. Be back tomorrow. We got to say as it is. No cotton shortcut. We got to let the Liberian people know this day. Take the last two callers. Take the last two callers.
Already, last two callers. Hello.
Last two. Nothing from Poland.
Okay. Hello.
Good evening.
1 minute. We're going to Spoon Talk.
Yeah, good evening. 30 seconds sufficient. Am I live?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Emmanuel M. Sopa Jr. and I speak for two communities. Let me take you to the Spoon Network people. I listened to Honorable Stanton, the former CEO, and he's right. More thing has broken down. I think it should take credentials to people in the U.S. for which more that's the reason why he's going to experience that unless accused by the U.S. government.
Thank you, my dear brother. Thank you. The final person, the last person. Hello, we have. Hello. Okay, so that's it for
That's
my
it.
SU.
That's it. Oh, Baron say on set, don't you leave Baron. The two phones stay going up like crazy. The phone is buzzing. What do you say? Baron, the phone call fitting. We got to bring the people in tomorrow. We will give you the phone number. You will call tomorrow. This is the Spoon Network. This is your show. I may not be on the show, but trust me, I trust Eugene Lamin Fagon. I trust Al Hussein. I don't know that they're rare Fadika, but we trust whosoever that will appear. Ramin Gray, Leo Napolo Johnson, Salamatu, our sister Salamatu Donkey, and we're going to trust Dr. Richardson, the lead moderator of the show, and every one of you, not forgetting Avatopa. You know, Avatopa was supposed to be here today. I don't know where is he. But the question remains, ask yourself, is Liberia better? Will Liberia be better under Mr. Cummings? I can double dare you. I will end with this one, though, that my own closing Fagon, forgive me. Honor Mr. Cummings, my 2 hands up. You may not like it. I do believe, this is not endorsement for Cummings. Honor Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings. Bamu Divakola. All the guys that you see around, they will run away all of that country. Honor Mr. Alexander Cummings. He will persecute to the letter. He will hold people responsible. He will confiscate the properties. He will bring them to justice, to real justice. I do believe the same thing for Joseph Yima Boyka. I do. We will have a system. We will have a government. I do believe the same thing for JMB. I will tell you who I'm voting for. I'm doing my closing. I will. I will tell you who can lead Liberia in the next century. A better Liberia. People will not lie and say they get 50 billion. 50 billion. Are you mumu? UAE will look at Liberia and get them 50 billion? It's fast hustle, my people. It's fast hustle. Don't be fooled. Our government run for $10 million before it can gone. Somebody happened to some $5 million check from World Bank because they know they got to eating. Trust me. Liberia are not stupid. We are not. We are not mumu. We get our common sense. So Liberia deserves better. We'll wait for the Cummings pick. We'll wait for the JMB pick. We will wait to see who will deliver Liberia. Liberia is looking for the Moses to take us to the promised land. Liberia is looking for the Joshua to take us to the promised land. Liberia is looking for that person that will cut the ribbon and say, I'm opening a car factory. Oh yes, they will be manufacturing cars in Liberia. They will not want to take our iron ores. Liberia is looking for that leader that will stand by Joe Biden and come back with resources. Liberia is looking for Moses, looking for Joshua, looking for the person that will deliver our country all of that nightmare, all of this frustration, all of this barrack of hooligans. Liberia is looking for that person. Yeah, go tell them I say so. I said thank you very much, Fagon.
Thank you very much, the CEO. Much talk about.
I sorry for hijacking your show, man. Irami,
listen.
my heart can be burning. When I see you making the analysis, I said, Echo. You know what? I trust you guys.
My man, we need to organize something for Salematu and Dr. Francine because tomorrow the ready people. I think where you don't even try 1918 before you can sport in here more. Yeah, that's
I say, you guys, thank you, my fellow Liberian. I want to say thanks to every one of you for following Spoon. This is your network. Listen, we're not going to set it to the highest bidder. I am not on the network. Manatlanticana is the CEO, but we're going to contribute the best way we can. They may come, they may hit us, but once you love us, once you love the network, the message will be preached. Trust me. We will not take money from them like others. We will not sell our birthright to the government. If you take money from them, if they're paying for your system, if they're paying for your fuel, if they're paying your employees, they zip your mouth. I told all the staff, and Madam Titi told them, the new CEO, we will go through this together. We will eat the pakana together because we have to say the truth to the Liberian people. Thank you for following Spoon. Thank you for making this your premier network. May God bless you. May God keep you. May God bless our country, Liberia. Till we meet again, have a good evening. Good night.
Thank you. Well, that was the voice of this former CEO of the Spoon Network, Stanton A. Witherspoon. Guys, we had our hands full. I'm not going to keep you any longer. It's 7 o'clock, which means that it's 11 o'clock in the city in Monrovia. Byron, others have to go home. I'll take it to you now, Al Hussein. 1 minute closing.
Don't give me 1 minute. Oh, that's all I mean. I can talk. You see, I gotta wear. The man made me to wear my shirt because they happy. I gotta talk on there, but it.
No, I beg you.
While listening to the people, it will seem like the election is over. Listen to her analysis, and he did a brilliant analysis. But for some of us that play with the numbers and look at the map and look at the demographic and look at the circuit of the Liberian people and have been following it for months and years, I have a different opinion. And I'm seldomly wrong when I make a projection, make a pronouncement. Most time I'm never wrong, and I see it differently. I'm not a big fan of the Coon. I think he's a fine candidate. I think what we are missing in our elections is we look for winnability. Who can win election? Who got the crowd? This is what got us here. That's how we elected a soccer legend. This is how we keep making bad decisions. This is how we elected Charles Taylor. And this is how we keep electing people, because we look for vain things. For me, I would rather lose an election or support a candidate that will lose an election than just look for someone that can win election. If you look at our political landscape, we have very few candidates. Most of the candidates that are really, good candidates, will never stand a chance of winning an election because of the way our people think and the thing that motivates them. When I look at our political landscape right now and look at those that are vying for office, I know that the CDC needs to be out. I never supported them on day one. I've never supported them. I'm not surprised the way they are performing. I think it was expected. It's no secret. Anybody that expected President Weah to perform better than what he's doing now have not been following him through all his career and have not been following him after he left his soccer pitch. So you made that mistake. The next year again, we have another choice to make between another old people that did exactly what George Weah did, and that should be what the election is all about. Giving new people
30 seconds. We gotta go home.
You see, we're the authority that you want, Tony. Change versus change. If you want to change, you have to look at the hard decision. You have to take a microscope and put your candidate under that microscope. Not look at because Lofa Kante we'll put the other one in Nima Kante. No, look at that person that can actually deliver change. If you're looking for change, I will not tell you who to not vote for, but I can tell you this. I will not tell you who to vote for, but I can tell you this. We have given one group of people 12 years before. What they did it. We are giving another group of people 6 years. Open your eyes. Do not give another group of people a chance to do exactly what the current guys are doing. Be mindful.
Thank you. We'll go to Iremi Great. But why are you taking out the hard for now?
I'm not supporting the papi. I'm winning it. I saying it to the CEO. Let you take it. I think.
Let's go to Remy Great.
I had our way. Don't let Fagon go crop it and go put it somewhere and say, the men supporting Bogana. I can't support
Bogana. Twitter already.
Well,
go ahead, Remy.
The only thing I know, I think CEO brought some razzmatazz to the show, and we've been missing that. And I hope it comes, often. Just to, I'm a military guy. Never mind, people can say some of us soft-spoken, but there's a time when you're in the middle of war, you need somebody that will kind of raise the morale of the unit, the troop. I think that was what Stanton did just now, and you can tell that it changed the euphoria. It's good that way. Sometimes we need that. You know, us Liberians, we need sometimes for somebody to say, yeah, you know what I mean? And I think he brought that to us. But one thing I would say is, I am not in an anxious mood for people to just choose their running mate. I'm still hopeful that there will be some sanity that will come between these people, so that, because I still believe that if we play with October 10th, any small indication that George Weah is leading because we are dividing the votes, that will give him more push to do something fishy. You know, Mr. Weah, these people don't play by the rule. They don't play by the rule. So for me, this should be like a fatal knockout. If these people can just sit down together and just say, you know what? Yeah, Kuhn is good. Yeah, we understand Mr. Henry Costa wants to be president or vice president too. But you know what? This is about removing this nonsense that we call presidency, or this nonsense administration, and bring something that will begin to make sense to Liberian people. I support anything but George Weah. Anything. I'm telling you. That's why I say I'm not tied. My navel string is not tied around any political party or any political individual. But I just want to wake up tomorrow, they say the president of the Republic of Liberia is not George Weah. That's what I'm looking for. So my hope is, I hope those people can come together. They just make some miracle to happen, so that Liberian people can wake up tomorrow and say, now I'm breathing a different, air, other than this rubbish we call presidency that is looming over our head there. Everywhere we go, we're just looking like, even football that was supposed to win. Tomato Cup, nothing we can do, nothing going on. Nothing going on, because I think we appear like we're a cursed nation, and I don't believe we're cursed. We're blessed.
Thank you.
Just God will give us that wisdom to just remove this nonsense out of the way, so that we can have a good country.
Thank you very much. Well, Liberians, and thank you, Baron. Thank you, Al Hussein, Eugene Fadiga. Thank you, Colonel E. Remy Gray. I'm going to say it like this. Very simple. If elections were held tomorrow and there was a JMB and a Cummins ticket, there will be no need for us to even sit here anymore. We just need to go home and do the induction ceremony. But if there is not a JMB and Cummins ticket, there is only one more ticket left. There's not 2 or 3 or 4. Let me be clear. Liberians, you know me from 2017. Whatever I tell you will come to pass. And that's what I'm saying again. If there is a Cummins and a Bwaka ticket, the game is over. If there is not a Cummins and a Bwaka ticket, there is only one more ticket left. And that ticket is Joseph Newman Bwakai and Jeremiah Kuhn. Period. I say period 10 times to the 10th power. Any other ticket is not even ticket, that paper. And I will say it again, that we who know ourselves in the country now will take anything other than this government. And we will begin to make the case. People say, Fagon, we don't see the fire in you. We don't see the power. My sister, my brother, if you're listening to me, that practice session here, I'm waiting for real game. When the game starts, at the time you will know the method that Fagon can play. Right now, I'm not burning my energy. And I will close by saying again, the most formidable ticket that will erase CDC even in the next 1 month will be a Bwakai Cummins ticket. But since Cummins people say they are the Mulatto people, they found Mulatto girl, they bluffing, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're too far, and the Papa will go spend more money to buy new Mercedes Benz and the Eli with them. I told them before, there's only one way to the presidency for Mr. Cummins, and that is through Joseph Newman Bwakai. So I say again, if there is ever Liberian people wake up and hear they say Bwakai and Cummins, let them just forget it and inform the government. We're not going to waste our time to spoil money. But if that ticket does not hold, there is only one more ticket Bwaka, and Kum. And when that ticket comes about, even Kumi said, when he go to the voting booth, to vote for JMB and Kum. That would just be it. That's why I say, y'all say are controversial. If Kumis go to the booth, he will vote for Joseph Nyimabwaga and Kum. Because the thing they will see, they never see it before. I respectfully submit. Thank you guys for joining us. It was our evening. Baron, take us home. Thank you for not wearing coat suit tonight.
Thank you.
You see that man from Poland?
Yeah, the man is here.
The Polish man.
One man had to call the play Poland. He said Polish. He said Polish. That's
the Polish man.
That Polish man. You can't talk about me, a Polish man. I don't know why Gizibu. I saw a post today. They say Polish. He said Polish. Your shoe shining.
Wait now. Poland is the name of the country. If you
Polish.
are from here, if you are a citizen, then you are a Polish.
But why you say Polish? That's you.
That's what I told you.
That's what he said.
All right, well, okay, man.
Yes, sir. A special one.
Well, this is how I would love to take leave of you. The invitation is yours to join us tomorrow for another splendid edition of this identical broadcast, Spoon Talk. James, good night. Good night, fellow Liberians. Bye-bye.